So once again, from Gratuitville, West Virginia, it's Gratu Orloff Show. It's a special Friday the 13th edition, Gratu Orloff Friday night after dark as darkness falls upon Gratuitville. We here in Tennessee are greeting the bad luck and the malevolence with another Gratu Orloff Show. And here once again is the back issue Goblin Elf. The Silver Age Goblin Elf that appears whenever Silver or Bronze Age comics are about to be shown. Well, we have precisely, let's see there, 0 viewers. Well, once again, we're here live, and our new sponsor, Waterloo Sparkling Water, Black Cherry, naturally flavored. Shit. It is chocolate chip flavored, to quote our fearless leader. Also, Fang, breakfast drink for vampires. Drink it by the pint, type A, type O. I say, gang, did you see the big reveal of the Moon Knight costume from the new Moon Knight Disney Plus television program? Supposedly it's leaked via Twitter. Everyone's all agog on the internet with the Moon Knight costume. Kind of looks like a mummy bandages. It's pretty comic accurate. It's okay. Probably not real. But I'm sure at least by episode 3, Moon Knight will become a woman. Hey, did you hear it, gang? They're saying that the roll up your sleever is safe for pregnant people. Seriously, pregnant people. That's the new thing. Because, men can become pregnant in Joe Biden's world. This is just a comedy routine. Don't mind me. Hold on. I got to turn on the comedy. Let's get some laugh tracks going. One moment. Laugh track. Okay. All right. Hopefully this will work. Okay, now you know when to laugh, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, pregnant people. What would my birthing person ever think if they had lived to be 90 something and to see the world today? I almost slipped and said she. That's a hate crime, thought crime. What do you call it? What is it? A minuscule insult? What do they call it? Microaggression. That's right. I like minuscule insult better than microaggression. Boy, this tastes like shit. No, it's actually pretty good. If you're trying to kick soft drinks, it's pretty good. So we have 3 people viewing. Oh, Myers trying to help me out. It's microaggressions, not minuscule insults. Well, tomorrow's free comic book day, gang. Some stores will be giving out comics from last year because they never really got to give them out because it was canceled due to the stuff in the air. Oh, but we got to put the mask on again for Free Comic Day in Dallas County because the Dallas County judge is fighting against the governor of Texas who says no masks. So Dallas County for schools and businesses, and now Denton, they just announced, which is north of Dallas, is also going to do the go back to mask. So, but I never go to Denton, although I should. They've got the greatest. What is this freaking ad? They've got the greatest bookstore up there called Recycled Books and Records. Several, like 3-story tall, better than anything. Amazing store. Shut up. So anyway, but let's see what Scott Briggs has to say here. Just a scam to get you to come in and buy $500 models and stuff. Yes, indeed. Well, here's a comic from last year. Some stores are going to be giving it away this year because they never gave it away last year. It's got a special centerfold. How about that? It's printed on very nice, slick paper. It's just reprints like so these Sunday funny type things. Let's see what else people are saying here. Man, New York has really killed the bookstore and record store situation. Yeah, I understand there were 3,000 comic book stores at the beginning of the pandemic, and now there's 2,000. So, but you can always get your comic books at Walmart, right? Walmart is a big. Here's something. Oh my gosh, it's got a stamp on it. It's going to be less valuable. This is what you can get tomorrow with it's that special King Shark special edition Suicide Squad. How exciting, huh? And they got an ad on the back. How about that? How about that one? So, I don't know. So, look at that. Somehow, when it's on a comic book page, it's far more offensive than it is in a film. I don't know why. When he eats people, the movie was funny. Here, it just kind of looks a little twisted. I guess because comic books really are meant for kids. But wow, wait, what the fuck? Aquaman actually looks like Aquaman. What happened to the tattooed guy with the piercings and the gauges in his ears and the dreadlocks? I thought isn't that how Aquaman's supposed to look? Wow, he's got 2 hands. What's going on with DC? I thought they cut off his hand to make him cool. But look at all the Suicide Squad graphic novels they're offering in the back. Let's see what people are saying here in the Walmart in Long Island is kind of lame. It's okay for basic stuff, good for car stuff. Walmart is lame everywhere. Walmart's a horrible store. I was joking about Walmart. Is this movie any good? Any movie with a shark guy is cool. The movie is fantastic. I'm not being sarcastic. And this morning, I've been waiting for my wife to watch these, but she's asleep, and I just went ahead and snuck ahead and watched a few TV shows. Then I'll pretend I haven't seen them when she finally gets around to wanting to watch them. But I went ahead and watched HBO Max release the first 3 episodes of the new Teen Titans, or they just call it Titans, TV show yesterday. So I watched those 3, and then I watched the season 2 episode 1 of Stargirl, which is you get a CW app on your Roku or whatever you've got, and you can watch old episodes in the CW. It actually aired, I think, Tuesday night, but I wasn't home, so I watched the first Stargirl episode. I've caught up on Suicide Squad. I'm way behind on Big Brother, which I've watched. I know you'll make fun of me, but I watch it because it's something I used to watch with my mother before she passed away. I'm sorry, my birthing person. My birthing person and I used to watch that every summer. There's something else that came out. Oh, What If, episode 1. I've seen about 5 minutes of that, but where Peggy Carter, it's like her head on a man's body. But that's the cool new thing for superheroes to turn into women, you right? That's what they're doing. What is this, man? I don't even know what I'm looking at. What am I looking at there? I don't know. Comic books don't really seem to be aimed at me anymore, unfortunately. Let's see what people are saying here. Man Bear Pig says, "Happy Friday the 13th, everyone." And then Meyer says, "I ended up lucking out at both of those Superboy King Shark appearances, 0 and 9. Hey, I don't know that they're going to become valuable. Have they? I don't even know. Um, I didn't really buy Superboy when he turned into some other guy. And now he's still yet, I think, another guy on this Titan show. He's like a clone of Clark Kent. That's pretty good. I don't know what to say about the TV shows because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. Okay. Here's, I think this is from last year. It's a special My Little Pony issue. It's got ponies in it. What else do they have here? This is from this year, so this is something you can pick up tomorrow if you're an idiot. The Legend of Korra. It's from Avatar. And it looks like that. It looks like horrible, fake Japanese art, like from a young adult novel. Hey, Man Bear Pig. And Scott Briggs says, "Was Man of Steel the movie any good? I still haven't seen it. Don't waste your time. No, it's not good. Of this DC crop, the movies to see. Well, this newest Suicide Squad, which is distinguishable from the first one it's the Suicide Squad, not Suicide Squad. See that one? See the first Wonder Woman, not the Wonder Woman 84. The Captain Marvel, the Shazam. I have to call it Shazam because Captain Marvel is something else now. But the movie about Captain Marvel that is called Shazam, even though he's not called Captain Marvel in the movie, is fun. The Justice League movie is the director's cut is watchable, kind of good almost. I'd stop watching in the last 10 minutes. The last 10 minutes is what else have they done? Aquaman is a good movie if you can shut out the idea of what Aquaman's really supposed to look like and just accept that it's a different universe of Aquaman. That's a fun movie. I can't think of any other DC movie. There's got to be another one that was good. I can't remember. Wow, this is a shit. This has been a shitty day, hasn't it? Friday the 3rd. I've got 2 people watching. Woke up to Trilogy of Terror because our dog Drew, if Drew is startled awake, she goes into Trilogy of Terror mode. It's like doesn't know what's happening and starts lashing out. But she was like buried under this big, heavy, green, lush blanket that my brother bought back from Korea. And I was just getting up groggy out of bed, and I either my hand came down close to where she's at, or maybe I mashed her tail. I don't know. I just getting myself up, but she's like, my wife was asleep. She hears this horrible noise and me going, ah, because she bit the shit out of my arm. How about that one? Wound. This is Aquaman territory. I'll tell you what I'm doing here. Hold on. We're talking about Aquaman, then that happened. I learned watching the Super Friends back about 1974 that if something ever gets in your eye, Aquaman came on and did a little public service announcement. What you do is you grab your upper eyelid by the eyelash and you bring it down over your lower lid, and it causes your eye to tear up, and usually it'll wash out whatever just blew in your eye, which in here is probably dust, let's face it, because we're in a archaic, horrible museum. But I do this, and it causes my eye to tear up, and now I'm okay. Let's see what everyone's talking about here. Ouch. Probably the dog bite he's referring to. It's so hot in New York here. I think people are just cocooning in the AC. Yeah, you don't want to get out there and expose yourself to the Delta or the Lambda variant. Have you run into Rusty Burke, the Texas writer? He's a Robert E. Howard expert, etc. The more you know. Oh, yeah. I don't. No, I haven't run into him. But if I see him, I'll make sure I run him over. No, just kidding. I've never even been out to Robert E. Howard's birthplace. It's, I think, a couple hours away. And now, in the news. Yeah, right. That sticks in your head. But what also sticks in your head is the TV Guide commercial, that little electronic music. Let's see if I can't find it here in another window. Oh, I'll just open a window. Let's see. Yeah, they had some shindig at Robert E. Howard's house and stuff a few years ago. Wow, if I had known that, I would have gone. I love Robert E. Howard. I just never been out to his house. I kind of get the impression that it's still, that town is probably still the way it was in 1935. And I think that's the only tourist attraction is that home. Still 2 people. So bad luck. Dog bite. Barely any breakfast. 2 people tuned in after 17 minutes here on a Friday night. But anyway, I think they made his house a bit of a museum or something. Yeah, I think they've kept it pretty much the way it was, or made it look that way. Okay. If anybody wants to come on, the address is there in the chat. Oh, I don't know if Lance Jones was inspired by appearing on this show or if he'd already planned to do it, but I saw on Facebook this morning that he's announced that he's going to do his own show in the end of August. He's going to start his own podcast where you can come on as a guest and everything. And he says, I'm not going to wear a mask. All right, hold on. Let me share the screen here. Share screen. Share screen. Chrome tab. YouTube. Let's see. What was someone saying there? I just watched the remake of Conan #1, and it was meh. The remake of Conan. You mean the remake with Aquaman starring as Conan? I never watched that. I just, something about it. I guess I was warned. It cooled down here finally. Otherwise, the leather jacket would make me miserable. Oh, no. It's very cold here in Gratuittville, Kentucky. Jason Momoa or whatever. Yeah. Okay, so back to what I was going to say. In the news, CBS Saturday morning. We gotta hear that. Here we go. Let's go back as far as we can. 1983, 1980, 76. Let's hear this.
In the news, helping young people with their health problems. This healthcare center on Long Island specializes in treating and counseling young people. This special kind of healthcare is in the news.
Ooh, that's cool.
Sponsored by Kellogg's, because your best day starts with breakfast.
I gotta put this in my playlist. Oh, Milton the Toaster ad?
Lego, your what?
Lego Mini Lego strawberry flavored waffle.
Did you say strawberry?
Uh-huh.
No, you didn't say Lego.
Let's put it in here.
Waffle.
Oh, shit. Did it go in there? God damn it. I save things in playlist, but I'm using my finger mouse. Okay, it didn't work. Yowza 13, close. Oh, I remember the Saturday Morning Fever disco theme. Remember that? Come on.
funny Roadrunner show.
All the gentle lights, places into the light of night. No more rehearsing and nursing a part. We know every part by heart.
Ah, here we go. That's what you would hear while you're waiting to watch the Fantastic Four or Godzilla and Gadzuki. Put that in that playlist too. Oh, but I came here for a TV Guide commercial. See, all these commercials have that same electronic music. Yeah, maybe this will have it. Yeah, that.
This week, TV Guide focuses on George Kennedy as the Blue Knight. When Joseph Wambaugh's best-selling novel was finished, Kennedy was everyone's choice to play Bumper Morgan. But it took TV a few years to come to the same conclusion. The story in TV Guide.
Did they always say interesting reading in TV Guide?
This week, TV Guide profiles Bea Arthur of Maude. The public often confuses an actress with her role. Bea is not quite as opinionated as Maude, but she knows one thing for sure. There's no one else like me. Her story in TV...
Oh, God. Bea Arthur. Let's see. Stick up for breakfast. Oh, we got 3 viewers now. Whoa, shit. What happened? The voice of Project Mockingbird. Absolutely. I love Saturday mornings so much. That old Luke. Yeah. All right. Back to what you can obtain if you're stupid enough to go to a comic book store tomorrow. This is a very ugly looking comic book. Let's see what it is. Resistance Uprising. J. Michael Straczynski. I've heard of that. Is he a filmmaker? I don't know who he is. Okay. Well, it's a book. It looks like every other comic book. How exciting. Oh, this looks spectacularly shitty. They're trapped at school. The clocks have stopped. They can't remember what happened. And a friend is dead. A school frozen in time. Looks just like a young adult book. See, they think that, girls read anime, manga, whatever the frick. So they think they're going to change the whole target market of the comic book industry into girls that like manga. I meant to buy the Splinter of the Mind's Eye graphic novel, but I didn't. Now it's hard to find. I read the book, but I don't know. I don't know about the comic. This might be from last year. I don't know how you even tell. Dark Ark. It's these are just. I have them because there might be another toilet paper shortage. You never can tell when that happens. So I need to put the shitty ones. This is like an ultra bloody one, isn't it? Dark Ark. Okay, so these are shitty ones. So I put the shitty ones there. Here is a sequel to the movie Mean Girls with anime-looking girls. Like, looks nothing like Lindsay Lohan or any of that. I'll put that in the shit pile. This is, I think this is last year. It's the R-rated Dirty Archie. They still sell the normal Archie in the back. Well, having this depressing film noir Archie. There's Veronica being a Nazi, I guess. I don't know. I mean, everything looks exactly alike. Everything looks like anime, even Archie. What a tragedy. Let's see what people are saying. Yep, the Star Wars Splinter graphic novel I told was excellent. I was told was excellent. I would buy anything by Alan Dean Foster. Yeah, I read the book when I was probably 13, 14, whenever it came out. Oh, yeah, this book is not for children. The boys. And as you probably know, it's been made into a TV show. And it looks like this inside. Where was that? It's just everything looks so shitty. Why does everything have to be so shitty? Why does the world have to be so shitty, man? Wait, maybe this is last year's The Boys. Yeah, this is last year's The Boys. This is the one you could have gotten last year. This year's may not be in this pile, but this year's, trust me, you open it up to the wrong page, you're going to get an eye full of stuff you don't want to see. Trust me. I don't even know what this is. Lady Mechanica. This is one of the choice comics that will be available at your local comic book store tomorrow. Some kind of steampunk little thing. I'm sure all you steampunk people will enjoy it. Yeah, okay. How about that? One thing I miss in New York City is all the village head shops that would sell underground comics. Yeah, do they even make underground comics anymore? Oh, this is from last year too. Stranger Things. I found a Stranger Things comic in the back issue bin maybe a couple days ago, and it was made to look like a beat up old paperback novel aimed at kids, right? Stranger Things, and a kid on a bicycle, right? So I look it up on completed sales on eBay. The only completed sale on that comic book was for 2 cents. So I assume that the maybe the bloom is off the rose of Stranger Things, but look at the shitty artwork inside. It's like what the how is that Stranger Things? It's all the what the hell? Yeah, it's terrible. This goes in the shit pile. Wait, Lady Mechanica is questionable whether it would go in the shit pile or this pile. And even Jack Kirby last year was turned into a keen kid to appease the people that love manga. Yeah. How about this ad? It's a pretty good ad, huh? Right? It's an ad for mayonnaise or something. Oh, let's see. It's isn't that cool? It's made to look like an old comic book. What the hell's going on with my phone? Oh, it wasn't officially on Friday the 13th. It actually happened late night, Thursday the 12th. Drew also started chewing on the cord that goes to my phone. She's chewed through 4 cords in the last month. That's cost me about $12 to get another one. Right now, this is working. You got to put it in just right because this one's a little thicker. She thinks they're like snakes and she has to bite the heads off of them. What the hell? What is this shite? The Baileys, this is apparently this year. The Bailey, or maybe I don't know if it's this year or last year. They all got mixed up. The Bailey school kids, vampires don't wear polka dots. Who would? It's free, obviously. It's about to vomit. It's like, who would buy this shit? The words don't even fit in the word balloons, right? It's like a giant word balloon and then a couple of words in it. This one is worth getting. The World of Zorro because it has actual real old reprints of Zorro comics from the 50s or 60s in it. It's from American Mythology Production, so that goes in the okay pile. What is this crap? Oh, this is from last year. Wait, no, it's this year, 2021. The Overstreet Guide to Collecting Comics. The fucking. What is this supposed to be? I guess this is their way of letting kids know that comics existed before they were born, or something. It's like, what in the name of God is this? I'll put it up here just because I want to figure out what it is. I would find weirdo. Okay, wait. Basil Orla, Monkey See, Monkey Do, Trendy Comics. Yeah, we're not really, but those shops always had tons in the 80s or so. I would find Weirdo magazine and stuff like that. Yeah. That sounds like a smart marketing idea for Lance to help increase sales. I just ordered 2 more books last night. Yeah, let me find that where he announces it. Yeah, I need to order some books from him, man. Let's see. Let me share screen. Share screen. Chrome tab. Facebook. Okay. It's Friends of, what is it? Guandana, but I'm trying. It's some special page. Maybe it's on his page. Okay, there's Guandanaland Comics. There's Guandanaland Comics fans discussions. There's Fog, fans of Guandanaland Comics. I think that's where he announced it. Oh, I'm not in this group as Kenneth. I'll join. I'm in it as Gratu. So hopefully he'll let me join. But let's see. Maybe he'll announce it here. This is 31 minutes ago. New black and white version for tomorrow for you guys who used to watch your Westerns in black and white. So Red Rider Comics is... He announced as of today, new direct orders will have a guarantee of 21 days instead of the previous 18 days. While I believe the guarantee is an essential part of direct ordering, and I will honor the 18 days guarantee on existing orders, the percentage of those not making it on time is too high, so I have to adjust. Right now, we're about 50% early, 40% in the range, 10% late, too many. Life is about adjusting and learning and watching and dancing and singing, but that's another story. Okay, that's not what I need. Okay. I'll just find it on my phone. Let's see. Let's see what I just ordered. A Jungle Comics Giant and America's Favorite Teen, which is Archie. Yeah, those are ones I'll want to get when I get some money together. Let me see if I can't find what he posted this morning. Because until someone lets me into that private group as Kenneth, but I'm in there as Gratu. So FOG. Yeah, I don't know where I saw it. Maybe it's on his personal page. Lance. There it's. There we go. Do we have anybody watching yet? Not 4 people. Well, that's somebody. What? I just clicked add friend. I thought I was his friend on here. Maybe he is unfriended. I don't know. Oh, looks like they've got a cool thing coming out. This reprint of Buddies, which must be a pinup comic. Oh, it's not a comic. It's more of a men's cartoon thing. He's doing volume 3 of that. Wait, there's several Lance Jones. Oh, I was friend. He's got 3 different profiles. They're all Lance Jones. Okay, this must be the one I don't know. It's very confusing. So this must be the profile that I'm friends with him on. Where did he make that announcement? Oh, here it is. On Monday, August 30th, I will be broadcasting my first video podcast. It will be live with call-in ability and will feature Lance Jones in the flesh. No masks, no hats, no funny glasses. We'll talk about all things Guandanaland. I'll give you some insight into what I do, how I do it, and maybe inspire you to some projects of your own. I need a little time to prepare because I don't want it just to be me sitting there talking. I want it to be interesting and interactive. So while details will follow, tell me what you'd like to see and stay tuned. So that is the Lance Jones that has this image at the top. And then the fan group is FOG or FOG, Fans of Guandanaland. Okay, so back to Free Comic Book Day. No, that's Bloodshot, which is looks pretty terrible. I think isn't Bloodshot what that weird looking guy that plays the tree in Guardians of the Galaxy that's in the car theft movie? Didn't he just make a movie where he played Bloodshot or Blood Feud or something? I don't know. Some Image Valiant character. I don't know. Okay. Bullshit. What is this? It's the Goon. Is this year or last year? How do you tell? I haven't heard of the Goon in years. No, this is 2019. So this must be a Free Comic Book Day from 2 years ago. So you probably won't be getting that tomorrow, but I'll leave that in the good. What is this? Deadly Class Killer Set. What year is this? Yeah, this is 2019. This is old. It looks like a modern Archie comic. Terrible. Oh, a Tick comic. But I think this is old. Or is it? 2020. Yes. If you can get in a time machine and go back to the Free Comic Day that didn't happen last year, then you could get this one. And I am... And I like the Tick, but the Tick is one of those weird things where my friend always told me I should read the Tick. And I said, yeah. I mean, it kind of looks amateurish. And then the cartoon started on Saturday morning, and I watched it, and it was wonderful. And so I looked at the Tick comic book, and it still wasn't. In other words, the cartoon was better than the original source material, in my opinion. Just like I think the Guardians of the Galaxy movies are better than the comic book. This is something that's coming out tomorrow, and it's called Fun Girl. Tales of a Grown-Up Nothing, right? So you think, okay, it's okay for kids, and then, yeah, it looks okay for kids, and then you get to, this. It's like, wait, it's not okay for kids. But is there any indication that it's not for kids? No, unless you just happen to open to the right page or wrong page. So, not good. I'll put it up here. What is this crap? Let's show. So, there's new comments. I used to be a huge fan of all Peter Bagge stuff years ago, but I haven't read him since. But has he done anything since? I really like Peter Bagge, but I don't know that he's still doing things. At least you ever a fan of Love and Rockets? I should have been. Their art always impressed me, and I always heard it was great, but I just never knew where or when to start with it, because it seemed like something that was a running soap opera kind of thing, and I didn't know where to start with it. So therefore I never started, but I love their art style. And so yeah, I'm probably someone that should be a fan of Love and Rockets. I've heard nothing bad about them ever. So let's see. I got big into them in the 80s and 90s, had all the books, etc. Yeah, I mean, I should have. I was buying a lot less in the 80s and 90s. Well, when did they start? Let's see. Actually, it might have been a good movie idea. What, Love and Rockets? Probably. Let's see what's in this box. Shit. I need to start dumping stuff in this box. We were talking about Conan earlier. Robert E. Howard. This is the official handbook of the Conan universe. Has a wraparound cover. Iranistan. There's all the different places you can visit. It's like a tour guide. And there is the world, or the stomping grounds of Robert E. Howard. Okay. So basically what you're looking at is Europe and Asia before everything changed, right? Before history started. This is kind of cool. Gods and Worship. Look at the illustration. Pretty good. See, comic books used to have good artwork before the free comic book day, before the manga, before the dark times. Here's Belay, the Pirate Queen. Atlantis and the pre-cataclysmic age. They got weapons. It's really a cool little book. Arms and armor. Afghanistan. Man, they ought to call it Afghanistan today. It sounds so much better than Afghanistan. Anyway, Afghanistan's in the news. It's like last 3, 4 presidents say we're pulling out of Afghanistan. Well, apparently we're pulling out of Afghanistan. Bad things about who knows what's going to happen. Robert Irvin Howard. Oh yeah. Who probably would have been beaten mercilessly by the people in his little small town if he wasn't built like a tank. But I can't imagine that someone that was a writer that read a lot in a little small Texas kind of farm town that walked down the street wearing a big sombrero would have been. Is that a reprint? Wait, there's more stuff here. It was always guns or butter, either buying books, comics, or music. Guns or butter. I've never heard that expression. Two-Fisted Tales. Is that a reprint? Two-Fisted Tales where? What? Two-Fisted Tales. Did I show Two-Fisted Tales? Wait, I must have missed something in the chat. I don't know. But if you're referring to this isn't a reprint. This is back when Spider-Man had that outfit. These books are kind of fun. The ones that are, the Robert E. Howard spinoff tales. Hearing this weird noise. Didn't he write boxing stories? Yeah, I think so. Okay, what else can I find that's entertainment? Oh, yeah. Here's the adaptation of the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. He got in the news yesterday by saying, "Screw your freedoms. You don't deserve to be free if you don't do the right thing." No. Let's see. You can't even find those DeCamp and Carter Conan paperbacks anymore here. Very hard to find. Yeah. That's true. I hadn't thought of that. They used to be everywhere. I still don't think they're rare because they printed so many of them, but as far as being in stores, there aren't that many bookstores anymore. It's just all they have here is half-price books. Yeah, this is printed when video games look like that. Oh, but I went to take my wife to get her new pair of glasses yesterday, and it forced me to go to a shopping center I don't normally go to. And there's a place called Movie Trading Company there, and they have old VHS, DVD, Blu-ray for sale. They have a comic book section. They, what else did they have? Why am I even talking about them? Oh, they had a big video game section. So apparently a lot of people, it's not just me, have misplaced their electrical cord for their Atari 2600. I have one here, but I just can't find it in this mess. So I got a new one, so now I can play 2600 games here on this show. Because that's the cool thing, is to play video games on YouTube. Boy, this is a shitty episode today. We only don't have many people viewing. No one wants to come on as a guest. Maybe at conventions, etc. Yeah, probably. Who knows? If there's anyone that still cares about Conan. Ernie Chan, just signing his EC at that time. Beautiful cover there. Later period Conan. a mishmash box. This is the finale of the Conan adaptation. See, I've got my 1970s cool shaft looking coat on because we're looking at cool 1970s comics. Here's more wonders from the 1970s, back when comics only cost 0 cents. Those were the days. I remember when comics cost 0 cents. Except for the 2 on the back. That's what Scott Briggs saying here. I wish we had places like that in New York. There's one bookstore on Long Island near me. It's okay, but not great anymore. I would think that New York would have amazing bookstores. Or maybe one point in time. Yeah. Yeah. Why this didn't take off, I don't know. Oh, this was sold at a PX, right? So, and the PX is you can get your comics with a little insert. Usually it's from Mark Jewelers, but this is a different variant on that. Trained for a great career as a police officer or detective. It does have jewelry, but this is from National Diamond Sales. But then, if you get this one, it also has the lingerie ads right in the middle of a kid's comic. God, I'm starving. I recall, not that the lingerie ad made me hungry. I was already hungry. I recall being at a drive-in with my parents, and then Shampoo came on. Then my parents drove us home. Yeah. I remember, nothing here. There was a children's matinee promoted at our school. They said, come pay, I don't know, 50 cents, something ridiculous. Maybe it was even cheaper than that. On a Saturday afternoon, everybody from your school can come into the local, there's some theater in San Antonio. And they were going to show Batman from 1966. This is about 1974, you understand. So this is a movie from 8 years before. So Mom dropped me off, but somehow they didn't get the print of Batman in, so they had to show a print of Benji. And I was thinking, oh, man. But I watched the movie, and I really love Benji. And I remember writing about Benji at school, and it said that Benji is so cool. It's almost as cool as Cornelius from Planet of the Apes. He looks like an ape from the Planet of the Apes. So that's my standard. Benji was great because he looked like a Planet of the Apes monkey. And perhaps that's why I love dogs to this day. Benji. Oh, why am I talking about that? Because I remember in the lobby of the movie theater, sorry, a Joe Biden moment, there was a big poster for Shampoo. And I remember looking at that thinking, what is this movie? This must be a very dirty movie. And apparently that's Carrie Fisher's first performance. And her line was, wanna fuck? That's Hollywood for you. Having a girl that's like 16 say that in a movie. Fucking scum. Look what Hollywood did to Carrie Fisher. Turned her into a junkie. My gosh. Oh, but anyway, 5 people watching. I don't know if you guys have seen the new 3 episodes of Titans or Stargirl. Stargirl's great. I won't spoil it. It's just great. I mean, it's fantastic, and it's free. If you get the CW app on your device, you can watch season 1 and the first episode of season 2. Titans. I enjoy it. This season it really kind of grips you. They push the R-rated stuff a bit, you can you just have to get used to it, that this is not the Teen Titans, the George Perez Teen Titans. It got a lot of elements of it, but it's a much darker thing, and I enjoy it. But they push everything up a few notches. Like when Barbara Gordon appears, she's not just in a wheelchair, she's got one leg. So the Joker must have shot her leg off, or she had to have it amputated or something. I mean, they push everything up, extra level, Great story. What about Benji? Hey, Gratu and chat. Oh, yes. Hello, Bronco. Speaking of Conan, here's Gru the Wanderer. It's amazing I don't have more copies of Gru, because I love Sergio Aragones. My wife taught me how to pronounce that, but I can't remember. I used to just say Sergio Aragones, and she says, no, that's not the pronunciation. She taught me exactly how to say it. Sergio, I don't know how. She's going to have to come on one evening. She's still asleep. But when she can pronounce it properly, because Spanish is her first language. But this has a special supplement, not a Mark Jewelers, but look, it's for X-Men action figures. Back before Todd McFarlane got into the business, these were action figures, which I thought were a step down from the Mego action figures. I thought those were pretty realistic, and then they went to these plastic things in the wake of G.I. Joe and Star Wars action figures. I thought that was a step down, and then He-Man came out, and it's like, wow, that's pretty good sculpting. And then He-Man was before the Todd McFarlane wave, right? I don't know what that's an ad for. It's shitty. And then whatever, this is some school for juvenile delinquents or something. Scott Briggs is teaching us to pronounce it. Bronco says it's a hell of a jacket, Grot. Yes, I got it from Shaft. I think it's Arahonis, probably. Something like that. Yeah. Oh, then there's Doom Patrol, which I think they're on the 3rd season, but we haven't watched past the 1st episode. We need to get back to that. The thing that bugs me about Doom Patrol is that Robot Man's jaw never moves. But it's pretty good. But again, it's an R-rated show. Doesn't have to be. We got to get back to that. And then I still haven't watched past maybe an episode and a half of Loki. I got to get caught up on that. And then I'm probably 6 episodes behind on Big Brother. I'm thinking Doom Patrol because I've got these Doom Patrol comics here that I got for $1 at Half Price Books. When Doom Patrol first came on DC Superheroes Max, whatever the DC channel was, I thought, boy, these are going to be real hot. Everyone's going to love the Doom Patrol TV show. I better buy these Doom Patrol comics while they're $1 at Half Price Books, and I get a discount on top of that $1 price. Did you hear my stomach growl just now? I better turn on the music so you don't hear my stomach growling. Wait, that's not my channel. What? What happened? Why isn't it playing my music? Shit. You get instant copyright strikes with that music. Why is it doing that? What is going on? Ah, fuck. Shit. God damn it. Oh, it went to the wrong channel. I was on 107.3 instead. Now I'm on 106.9. Okay. I gotta have this music playing. You guys gonna just hear all this grumbling from my stomach. Okay, what do we got over? Lots of people in chat. Kimberly says, hey guys. Hey Kimberly. What's up, Uncle Gritty? Larry Burbridge. What's your fave episode of Outer Limits? Mine is the Xantine Misfits. That was a great episode, but it's hard to say what's your favorite episode of Outer Limits. It was such a great show. There is a good comic store in Suffolk, Long Island, and Smithtown. I need to visit soon. Cool. Hello, Dr. Orloff. Felix Maldonado. I haven't seen you in the chat in like 14 years. Felix Maldonado. I'm a massive Outer Limits fan. Everyone should be. FEMA took over your channel, Gratu. LOL. FEMA? Oh, yeah. Larry Burbridge. I think mine is done up until Doomsday. Doomsday. It's so screwed up. Basil, did you go to that estate sale? You sent me a link to an estate sale. Did you go to it? Because that Ham's Beer sign was amazing. It's the weirdest thing how they marketed Ham's Beer with cartoon characters, like you're marketing beer to children. But it was a wonderful time. Felix says, yeah, I know it's been a while, but I'm back. Cool. So it says there are 5 people watching. So I guess all 5 are in chat. This was they made like this is going to be a big deal. Marvel, The Human Fly. This is my childhood copy because he's a real superhero in real life, and he's in the Marvel comic book. Stan Lee thought this would be a big thing, but it didn't happen. What are people talking about? Larry says, have you seen the new Mego figures at Target? They're doing Universal Monsters and are pretty sweet. When did those go on sale? No, couldn't. Had bunch of shipping to handle. Okay. They probably were going to charge a lot for that Ham sign. I'm sure they knew what that was. From the land of sky blue waters. Yes. Mego figures at Target. I've seen ones based on Hammer. I'm looking for cool comics to show you, don't worry. What is this one? I saw some of the new Megos at Target. Also had some Star Trek classic figures like the Salt Monster. Oh, they did? Oh, the Salt Monster. That's great. Last time I was there, all I saw was Dr. Zaius. But I have an original Dr. Zaius. And I thought, well, should I get this Dr. It's pretty close. I mean, it's just the colors are slightly off. I mean, you'd have to have lived with Dr. Zaius all your life to know that's not a real Dr. Zaius. But Dr. Zaius has been a roommate of mine for almost 50 years, so I pretty much know what he looks like. What a wonderful cover this is. Astonishing Tales number 14. Gil Kane. People argue in our community about Gil Kane and whether or not he's a. I think Gil Kane is wonderful. Some people don't like that Gil Kane often gives you shots up people's noses, but hey, how about that Hunter Biden? Speaking of noses, here's a new recording of him out yesterday. The media sure doesn't cover that, does it? Well, the latest, the greatest from Mighty Marvel. You got Doc Savage, you got the Gunhawks, you got the Man Thing, Journey into Mystery 1. I was watching Comic Crypt from Castle Hills earlier today. He was showing some books he's been picking up to read for the summer reading. I didn't know that Thor stopped being Thor, and then the Thor comic up in the 500s went back to being Journey into Mystery briefly, and then became Thor again. I guess that was when I don't know what happened then. Was that when Jane Foster became Thor, or Beta Ray Bill, or something? I don't know. Here's a reprint of this Shield. I better pull these up. I'm gonna have to go back and buy the M1. He was talking to. It was him and a prostitute in a hotel, and he was talking about how the Russians had stolen a laptop of his where he was doing all kinds of crazy sex, and he said, and then they pretended to help him search for it, but they were people he was partying with, and they turned out to be Russians, and so that means that there's 3 laptops he's lost, and he said that what sucks is that they'll be able to sell his sex tapes to TMZ for millions of dollars. He says, my dad's running for president. They'll be able to sell it for, and it's like, I wanted to be the one to sell those, but they're going to be able to make money, and then the footage won't be. He was more upset that he was losing the money value of him selling this stuff. It's you got to go to alternate news sources to see this stuff, but it's there. I shouldn't even be talking about it. These comics you can get for like 50 cents. I mean, they're pretty much giving them away. Remember, I know there's like, I just saw hundreds of them, but it was a great deal that Image was doing these 1963 comics. I really loved them. I can't believe that there's not a collector market for these. And I just thought at the time, why don't they just do comics today like they did back then? You know, it's like, well, fake 1963 stuff is actually pretty good. Okay, what are people saying? Oy vey, says Scott Briggs. Oh, let me look up this Migos stuff while we're talking about it. This jacket actually belonged to my oldest brother back when he was in college. He's now passed away, but it's from the 70s, you know. So I thought, just okay. So Migo, let's see what Migo's up to, because I didn't know they were doing the Salt Monster. That may be something I'm gonna have to shake my piggy bank for. Let's see, the piggy bank is empty. When I bought this, there were still coins in it. I bought it at an estate sale just a few years ago. You put a coin in, the little rebel hat goes up. It's politically incorrect. You could never sell this today. This would be canceled. But at one time in the 70s, you could buy objects like this. But there's no coins in it. And I think I've got a few quarters in the car. And but I don't know. Where do I put this motherfucker? Okay. What are people saying here? Scott Briggs says, I had a black leather car coat like that a few years ago, but it finally fell apart, alas. Yeah, this thing's old. You can hear it squeaking. Looks like a shaft jacket. Very nice. I picked up Migo Hillman. Oh, I thought that was some girl. Her name is Migo Hillman. I picked up Migo Hillman, Dieter Zayas, and Igor from Young Frankenstein. What does Hillman mean? There's some paint on this, though. I think someone was painting, and there's some paint on it. Where is that? There's some paint back here, man. I got to get this paint off of there. Then I can wear this out in public. Gilman, not Hillman. Oh, okay. Migo Hillman. Yeah. We're trying to keep track of cool names. I don't know if you're writing these down, Meyer Greenblatt, like Rusty Staples, because we might have like a dozen cool names, like pseudonyms to use. But Migo Gilman or Migo Hillman, those are two good pseudonyms, pen names. We got Rusty Staples. I don't remember what the other ones were. Okay, I got to look up Migo now. Migo. Migo. What the hell do you call them now? Migo action figures. They used to be called Migo dolls. Okay, it's time to share. What are people saying here? What? I can't believe they haven't put out a good diecast Nika Nostromo from Alien yet. Yeah, I still need to get that King Kong, man, that has the face painted up like the Famous Monsters cover. I still haven't been able to find that. And there's so much I want to get. The regular. Oh, Basil's coming on. Let me get him on here. Okay, Basil, what's up?
Howdy there, Grok 2.
Hey,
What's happening?
not much. I'm looking up Migo action figures.
Here, I'm going to make two of my corn balls.
So you didn't go to that estate sale, huh? You had to send off stuff you sold on eBay?
No, yeah, I had a bunch of packing to do, and I wanted to put a lot of crazy stuff on eBay. It's Friday the 13th, so like I did a bunch of listings and different stuff, but I did find something pretty cool that's art and kind of cartoonish that I thought you guys would like to see, that has to do with my band. I mean, one of these days I need to break out all the album artwork that I have. I have a bunch of it, but this was I pulled this out of the garage. I'll show it to you whenever you.
I'll blow you up here in a second. Not literally. But,
whatever you're doing.
Let's see what people are talking about here. Okay, so they got the guy with the cookbook from Twilight Zone. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. The Stan Lee looks terrible. That Hannibal Lecter looks terrible. The Reagan looks terrible. I don't even know what the frick that is. I'm not interested in Star Trek: The Next Generation, especially not this one of Zuckerberg. Leatherface. Let's see which Leatherface this is. Yeah, the thing about Migo is it's a nostalgic thing for your childhood, and then when they do these figures for things like that, it's kind of like almost, I don't know how to explain it. It doesn't even make sense. So it just doesn't seem right somehow. But let's see, Wave 7. Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's a cash in more than what. Yeah.
That looks good. I don't know what that is, but it looks shitty, and that looks dumb. The head looks too big, but I don't even care about that. Okay, so you got Khan from the movie. You got Lord of the Rings. Not interested. You got Kiss ones that Migo put out Kiss, but they were giant sized in the 70s. But maybe they did a Gene Simmons earlier. Okay, so the mummy is not a universal mummy. It's an Egyptian mummy. That's how they've got around that. Okay, so then we need to look at wave 6. I don't know. I imagine they're going to show everything that Migo's done on this page, including stuff that might be exclusive to Target. Oh, that doesn't look like Elvis at all. That's terrible. That's shitty. And that's good only because it's the exact same mold. They just reused the same mold or recast it from them. Because the sculpting in the 70s was pretty spot on. Yeah, that's terrible. That looks like shit. Those, I think, were made in the 70s. I think they had Wizard of Oz figures, but nobody cared about them back then. And Mego did a Wolfman or a werewolf back then. I don't see. That's not based on Universal. Nosferatu. Okay, that looks like it's sort of Universal. I've seen that, but it looks bad. You don't want. Yeah, even the figures that were supposed to be bare-chested, like Tarzan in the 70s, had cloth skin because they wanted to cover up all the metal joints and everything. But yeah, I've seen that. I don't know. I think I may be going back too far. Yeah, it's like, and then they do all these figures like that no little boy would even care about, like the Golden Girls and shit, you know. Okay, that what the hell what is that thing? And I guess that's supposed to be Bruce Lee. Okay, classic Aquaman 14-inch. Yeah, I don't know that these things are selling. I guess they sell to collectors and they're cool. I'll get some of them someday. Okay, let's see what you got there, Basil.
Oh,
Have
you ever heard of Frank Kozik?
Oh, sure, yeah. I've got some of his posters.
Oh, you do? Well, I don't know if you've got poster 2035.
Hold on, let me blow this up.
Well, here, hold on.
Does he number his posters?
Yeah, well, it's numbered 2035. This is when we opened up for the Templars and at the Club Boomerang back in, I think it was 1998 or 99, and he made a real limited run. I think he only made maybe 200 posters of this, and this was the first time. Here, let me see if I can get. Hold on. Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can't really see the bands underneath the Templars yet.
Yeah. Let me see if I can get this over here and manipulate it. There you go. This is my band, Soldier 76. We opened up for them. It was the first time that the Templars had played the West Coast.
Oh,
they had. It was a pretty big occasion. I mean, they had blown up, and then finally they, were able to start touring, real big, and they came out to the West Coast, and they were good friends of ours. We were label mates right before this. This is when they went to TKO Records. So they had just jumped labels and went to TKO because TKO was a bigger record label. But
right.
Prior to that, we were on the same record label for about 4 years together, which was Vulture Rock Records out of, at that time, they were originally out of Washington State. Then John had to leave. This is a cool story, if you don't mind me. I'll go down this little rabbit hole. So, okay. Vulture Rock Records, aptly named, he named the record label for that because how he started the record label was he was on unemployment, sleeping couch to couch, and he saved up. Finally, he got his unemployment. He had gotten laid off, and finally he had gotten unemployment. And he took all his money and he bought like a little small bootleg tape, tape recorder, a real nice one, a high-end one. And he would take off, and this was in the time period when Nirvana was coming up, Mudhoney, all those big bands, right? The grunge rock scene. And John hated that music, kind of like, he doesn't hate him, but he doesn't give a shit about it. Like, he didn't care about it like kind of I don't care about it. I think some of it's okay. He thinks some of it's okay, but he didn't really care. So what he would do is he would bootleg those bands, and then he'd make a small number of records and put them out. And then after he was done selling those bootlegs, he would save up the money to put out punk rock, because that's what he really cared about. He cared about Oi and punk rock and all the underground stuff. He didn't care about the mainstream, right? So that's how the name Vulture Rock Records came to be. So anyways, what happened was the Templars were one of the original Vulture Rock signings. My band was one of the original Vulture Rock signings. There was probably about 7 bands that were out there. I could name the rest of them, but it doesn't pertain here. And he did the best he could. He was limited funds, but he had really broke his ass distributing. That guy would get in his Bronco and drive across the United States to sell his records. That's how committed he was. This guy John is still my friend today. Was just committed, man. And he would, go to the big, like you guys have comic conventions, they have vinyl conventions, and he would drive across the United States and sell his releases at record conventions. So anyways, the Templars left John, which was a big blow. It really pissed him off, because he found them and he brought them up, he nursed them, and he made them big. And they made themselves big. John didn't. John just simply was, he was the catapult, but the band was going to be big anyways. And they jumped labels on him, went to TKO Records, and that poster is right when they went to TKO Records. And John still had rights. John still has some rights to some of their stuff. Though him and one of the band members from the Templars have worked out an agreement to where, I don't know what they've worked out some kind of agreement to where John won't put out something, and they pay him a little something or something. But anyways, that poster was made, and it was commissioned by TKO Records. And so the artist, that Kozik guy, was at our show, and I didn't know who he was. I had no idea. But he was like, some hippie dude selling posters. And I was like, cool, man, I want to buy it. And I bought 2 of those posters. And I gave one like a dumbass to one of my friends, and I kept one for myself. And I don't even know what my dumbass friend did with it. I have no idea. But that poster. And then later on, I found out, I was talking to the guys, the band members in the Templars, that we actually bought the posters from the artist himself. I thought he was just some fucking hippie guy, some dude with a long beard, hippie dude. And I was like, whatever, man. And well, they had their posters signed by him. They had, the guys, Kozik sign them. Well, I didn't know who the hell the guy was. I had no idea. I still don't give a shit to this day. But those posters that are signed by Kozik, they sell for like $3,000. And I'm like, damn. I was like, dude, I would have bought 10 of them and had that fool sign them if I knew they were going to sell for $3,000. I don't know what an original unsigned sells for. I know that he sells reproductions of it, that are not hand lithoed. I see him on his website. You can order a print or whatever. But mine is an original hand litho. But I didn't know that thing hung around in the jam room. It's got cigarette smoke on it. I think I framed it after like 5 years, you know, I was like, oh shit, that might be worth money. Here, I'll frame it. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's a real Frank Kozak poster. I've showed that to a few people and their mouths dropped. I mean, they were like, dude, that's a hand litho, dude. That's not that's not, you know, a print. That's actually, he hand lithoed that. You know, he did, you know, I guess like his original posters, he hand does, and then after he does that run, then he just has like a normal poster print shop maker. And you can tell, you know, by the way that looks. Are any of yours that you have hand lithoed? Are they originals?
I need to dig them out. I'm sure. I think they are. I would get stuff based on the subject matter or the band. He do like a lot of Flintstones kind of things with like Pebbles Flintstone tied up or something. Was it him?
I don't know. I'm still not that familiar with him. I mean, you know, I'm just like, yeah, I know that dude, and I know his posters are worth a lot of money, and I know he put out one, you know, when we opened up for, you know, the bigger band. Yeah, we're the lower band on there, but it doesn't matter. I mean, that's a whole nother story too. I mean, we were so at this point, at that point of Soldier 76, we were so how do you want it? We were kind of controversial, you know, like being out of Fresno. Nobody gives a shit about Fresno. You know, you have like all these Bay Area bands, you have all the LA bands, and, you know, we're just out of some shithole town in California. And the only way we got on that show was because the Templars said that they wouldn't play the show unless we were on the bill. So they forced the people that were, you know, putting the show on to put us on the bill. I thought that was great. I was just like, dude, that's too cool. And they were like, yeah, you know, don't worry about it, man. He goes, you guys should, you know, you guys should be way on here. And anyways, yeah. So that whole show turned into a big old screw festival. You know, it was one of those shows where I had to jump off the stage and box a couple people, you know, and tell them what time of day it was. I think my singer mopped some guy in the bathroom who was one of the staff guys, you know, the sound guys or whatever. He mopped one of those guys in the bathroom, you know, to straighten their attitude out. Yeah, because they didn't really want us there. They didn't want us there at all. And, you know, and it's like the crowd was cool. Like 80% of the crowd, they loved it. They knew who we were and they were all about it. But like I said, that higher echelon of douchebags that run things, they didn't like us. So, you know, that's fight the power. You know what I mean? You got to fight the power. And that's been the case of all my bands from day one. You know, I mean, it's like, I mean, our music's so fucking credible. I mean, if we would, like I said before, if we were anywhere else than Fresno, say we were in New York or San Francisco or LA or Chicago, or even though, you know, any major city, if we were in any major city, we would have been 10 times bigger than what we were, which I'm not complaining. I like how big we did get, you know, forcefully from, you know, it's not little. Fresno's not a little town. I mean, I try to tell people it's not little. There's a million plus people here. That's fucking huge city, you know? It's like, but they treat us like we're a bunch of Hobokans, you know?
Right.
Anyways, I'm jabbing my jaw, drinking too much coffee.
Yeah. I'm trying to
look
look
on down yonder.
what's going on down here. No, nothing exciting. Just I'm looking up what posters I have, trying to remember. I have some Kozak posters, not many, and I have some Coop posters. I don't know if he's as big of, but yeah, I just really didn't think about that. That era is is enough years back that I guess maybe people are starting to collect it.
Yeah, it's 19. That would have been 1998, 99.
Yeah, let's see. I'm just looking up Kozik posters, trying to refresh my memory. So, yeah, see, I would buy posters that kind of look like that, but I don't have that. I'm trying to find one that I've got. Yeah, because he always had this cartoon imagery mixed with. I have, or do I? Yeah, I think I have this poster, even though I'm not a Butthole Surfers fan. I think I have this poster because I like the Flintstones element.
Yeah, that's
And,
cool. That's a cool poster.
and I thought I had this. I don't think I have that Cows poster. I don't, but that's very familiar looking. Boy, I don't know. I've got one that has an image from that Man, Myth, and Magic series. I wonder what that is. So yeah, people put out whole books of his stuff. It looks like. Man, I've got one that's like a tall, skinny one like that, but it's not that one. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because he did these Hanna-Barbera ones. I know I have one that's the 5, 6, 7, 8s, and one. Well, that the one I'm thinking of is a Coop poster. I might have gravitated more to the Coop posters. Wait, I've got a Devil Girl poster. It's not that one, but it's a
Yeah,
Devil Girl.
I've seen that one. I think we have one like that hanging in our record shop.
Yeah. Let me look up Coop posters. Because the one I've got has got like the Bride of Frankenstein kind of as Betty Page and a hot rod. Yeah, it's let me try Coop poster, Betty Page, Frankenstein. Maybe they'll help me. Not those. I'm not finding it. I'll locate it and I'll let's see.
Yeah, they're quite pricey. I mean, even his run of the mill stuff is pretty pricey. I mean, you aren't going to get out of without buying a Kozik or the other guy you're talking about. I mean, their posters are at least $50 a pop. I mean, I've seen them on sell for like $29.95 plus shipping or something like that. But that was about, I don't know, 10 years ago. The last time I looked, they might be more expensive or less now.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess at some point it'll be like the 60s posters, possibly.
Yeah, and I think it's all like it has to do with content too. What bands, I'm sure like the Butthole Surfers and Nirvana and a lot of those bands and stuff are going to be worth a lot of money. And there'll be cult posters like the poster my band's on. I mean, the Templars are a well-known band, but I mean nowhere near as big as like Nirvana or Butthole Surfers or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I never grew to like the Butthole Surfers. I never interested me. As a kid, I would watch Gibby Haynes' father. He was Mr. Peppermint on local television.
No way.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No,
Didn't know his father was a kid show host.
no, that's nuts.
And he even was, that dad. I think he was with his son and I think his wife. They were real young, and they were there, and they were down on the ground when Kennedy was killed, and they brought him right into the Channel 8 studios, and Jerry Haynes was interviewing him because he came in as a newsman. Let me look this stuff up. I'll show you. Yeah,
Wow.
he was a kid show host for a couple of generations in the Dallas area.
I know that one of the guys played him from the Munsters, played in Battalion of Saints. I know that. I think he was the drummer.
Butch Patrick?
Yeah, I think so.
I know he lived in Austin. And he was in Lidsville. But okay, so what do I need to look up? Mr. Peppermint. Oh, there he is. But this is the big reveal. Oh no, that's not that actually. I guess you're not supposed to show it on YouTube. They're not showing it. So people are talking about this new Moon Knight costume, but then they provide a link underneath. So I guess you get in trouble if you show it on here. So maybe I shouldn't. But for those of you that care about that. But this is, they just put this up about a month ago. This is a 1963 episode of Mr. Peppermint.
Peppermints really fell nicely today, didn't they, Gumdrops? Do you like peppermint, Mr. Bumby? Okay, here you go. There's number one. And here's two. And there's three. Three peppermints for my good friend, Mr. Bumby. How about playing the game, Mr. Bumby? All right, I'll pick out some names, and you'll just do them for us, okay? Before it rains, Mr. Bumby, see if you can give me Mr. Bumby game with the name of Jennifer. Can you do that?
That's crazy.
And he'd have puppets. The puppet I remember was named Muffin, and he was. That's Muffin there. This is more in the 70s. We didn't move to this area until 1976, so I saw the later episodes that were called Peppermint Place.
Help, Mr. Peppermint! I fell off a cliff, Mr. Peppermint, over here!
I was awakened by his cries of help.
Help!
It's Muffin.
Mr. Peppermint!
Where are you, Muffin?
Mr. Peppermint, over here!
Oh, I think
Over
he's...
here, Mr. Peppermint, hurry!
All right, hold on, I'm coming. Here's the big rescue.
If I can't find that, WFAA, November 22nd, 1963, Jerry Haynes. Well, it's not even working. Anyway, it'll come. We'll start working in a second, I suppose. There we go. The following content has been identified by the YouTube community as inappropriate or offensive to some audiences. What? Boy, are these snowflakes?
President's car is now turning onto Elm Street.
Oh, because they show this.
Oh, wow.
I would like to recap a little bit for those of you
Re-
who are turned in late.
Okay.
Just do as you have to do.
This father, who's probably like 20 years old, has just seen the president's head explode, and he's in shock. They bring him right on with his wife and child. They probably showed that Zapruder film so that you could, for context, you'd see what he just saw and see him on the grass.
So the dude from the Butthole Surfers, as a little kid, was right there when Kennedy got his head popped.
That's him there outside. He's not dressed as Mr. Peppermint, but yeah, that's the lead singer of the Butthole Surfers' dad. And I assume that the lead singer of the Butthole Surfers, I guess he's about 4 or 5 years older than me, so he was probably a toddler when this happened.
It's unusual, though.
And I'm sure he looks a lot like his dad. I don't know much about the Butthole Surfers.
No, I don't either. I don't. I was never.
Anyway, that's Jerry Haynes. I think he even put out a record back in the 60s where he's singing and doing those little skits as Mr. Peppermint.
That's interesting.
Let's see. Larry Burbridge is saying P.T. Anderson's dad was Ghoulardi, the horror host in Cleveland. I know Ghoulardi, but who's P.T. Anderson? I don't know. And then Scott Briggs was saying, I read there was a 90s Long Island punk band, the Templars, also.
Yeah, I know that's the Templars.
Oh, okay.
That is the Templars.
Okay, so they were just touring out in California.
Yeah, that was the reason why they made that poster. It was a big deal. It was, they were just starting to conquer the world. It was their first West Coast show. I mean, it was the first time that they had left the East Coast to play the West Coast. They were, going across the continent and coming out here to California. It was a crazy show, man. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Let's see.
Lots of good fist fights and whatnot.
He's the director of Magnolia and Let There Be Blood. I recently bought a book written by Gibby Haynes. Oh, and he directed Boogie Nights also. Okay, yeah, P.T. I have heard of P.T. Anderson now that you mention it. Yeah, okay, so he's the son of Ernie Anderson, who is also the voice of ABC all through our childhood. He would always be the guy at the end of every episode of whatever you're watching and say, stay tuned for Love Boat or whatever. or Friday on ABC, come watch the ABC Friday movie, whatever. He's Controlled Bleeding is a good old band from Long Island. Also, they were more industrial techno punk than punk, though.
Yeah, I haven't heard of them.
I don't know them either.
I mean, I grew up partially, I'd always go to the East Coast. My dad's side of the family was over there, out of Boston. So we used to go to the Rat Scaler, and then I would take off and go to New York. And I was really early in the 80s, introduced to, New York hardcore. I like the Crumbsuckers, and they had great album art, man. Talk about cartoon, dude. Here, let me find a Crumbsuckers. LP. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, and industrial music I don't know much about. A friend of mine used to really like that stuff, and I couldn't. There were little things connected to that industrial culture that I like. Oh, shit. Hold on. Hello? Hey, what's up? Yeah, everything's cool. Well, we're down to like maybe 75 cents, so we may have to eat in. Yeah, but you don't want to buy for two people. Yeah, well, sure. Yeah, if you want to do that, that'd be cool. But we can pay you back next week. Well, yeah, what time you think you'll be by? Hey, so it'd be a few hours or 7. All right. Okay. Hey, I have a question. My video projector, it won't even turn on. If the bulb burns out, will it just not turn on? It's plugged into the power strip, but I need to like pull it down. That projector I've had for years. I don't ever use it that much. I need to get down and make sure it's cleaned out and everything. But, well, no, it's just on top of a big book rack. Yeah, I tried it in several power strips and it won't power on. Yeah, no. No, I need to pull it down to do that. It could be, yeah. Right. All right, sounds cool. All right, talk to you later. All right, right, bye. That's my friend Gerald that comes over every Friday, and he's, so he's just calling, telling us. I was telling him, hey, my projector's not working, hoping he can magically fix it. So the crumb suckers.
Crazy artwork, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they were one of my favorite bands out of there. Of course, Agnostic Front and, Cro-Mags. And there was a litany of New York hardcore bands, that came out of there, legendary. But I always liked the Crumb Suckers. They were a bit more talented than the rest. That was just my opinion, you know what I mean? I loved them. And I've met Harley and all the guys from, I met all the big shots back in the day when I was a kid. I shouldn't say kid, a young man, 25, 30 years ago. They're all cool.
Well, my friend Randy was good friends, or I guess still is, with Long Gone John that ran Sympathy for the record industry. And
I remember that record label.
He'd always get free records from him to either take to resell at the local record store, and I'd always, he'd give them to me real cheap, and so I'd get a lot of
record label
records, and so he had a lot of, and then he knew a lot of people, and people would sleep on his couch, like that comedian that later became SpongeBob SquarePants. So, and then all these rockabilly musicians from the 50s would come over to his house and play guitar. Ronnie Dawson, that did the original Rockin' Bones, and all these other people. So, but then in the early 90s, I started dating this girl that was really into the whole punk rock scene, and I think a lot of bands would sleep on her couch, and when they came through there, and so I met some of them, and then I would know about cool music through my friend Randy and through this girl, and of course that all ended spectacularly, but not my friendship with Randy, but anyway, that's how I knew about cool music. But then so I'm not really tapped into what's going on now, if there's anything going on now, but
no, I'm on the senior circuit too, dude. You know what I mean? It's like there are some, like we had the conversation before. There are some really, as far as in my genre of music, there are some really, really good bands that are out. Not many, probably a handful right now. It's very independent, but the rest of it is just, in my opinion, it's horse shit. It's garbage.
Yeah.
So, as far as there's a spirit behind every kind of music, and there's people that have no idea what it is. Like I said, they got a bunch of money, and they put out their stuff, and get the tour around, and solely the original art, as far as I'm concerned.
So the other night, we, for whatever freaking reason, convenience, I was going out to McDonald's to pick up some food, and so Cleo looks at some app, some internet, to see if there's any deals at McDonald's, and there's something called a Saweetie meal. I said, "What the fuck is Saweetie?" I said, "I'm gonna embarrass myself and say Saweetie to some. I want the Saweetie." I said, she was on the phone with me while I ordered it from some young kid, and I said, "Do you know what this is? This Saweetie meal?" And she said he was kind of chuckling because apparently everybody knows who Saweetie is. And I've never heard of this, I guess, fucking person in my life. Saweetie. It's apparently a rapper woman that eats at McDonald's and has put together a special meal of her favorite things. And if you get the Saweetie meal, it's just ridiculous. And then they're going back to, Dallas is going back to all masks, or they started yesterday. So,
oh, you gotta be shitting me, man! I just watched that. I watched that thing on Jones yesterday where that guy and his wife divorced, and the wife is insisting that his two boys are girls, and they're the guy's been like battling the courts for like 5 years, man, and they won't. I don't even want to go into it. It's just ridiculous. I was like, it's just so authoritarian, man. The things that are going on are just nuts.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's just, well, yeah, there's, the latest thing I saw was that, that this is perfectly safe for pregnant people. I was talking about that earlier. It's like, oh yeah, pregnant people. They used to say pregnant women, but now it's pregnant people. That's just ridiculous.
Oh, dude, now they got the you got to go for 3 and 4 now.
It'll be infinite. It'll be infinite.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we gotta I gotta get out of here, man. Either leave the planet, or at least I don't think it's even possible to leave the state anymore, because now latest I'm hearing is they're gonna make it where you can't cross state lines. So
yeah, it's like I said, they're gonna keep pushing until they get pushed back on, and people are there. We're crawling on the pushback right now.
They want the pushback so then they can clamp down. They want someone to do something crazy. And then
I agree. That's going to happen too. I agree with that. That will happen, but
and then it's over. Then it's absolutely over. If someone does something crazy,
I think that's when it really begins. That's my opinion.
We probably should talk about that.
Yeah. No, absolutely, I agree. I think that's when it really begins, and it's just that unfortunate that it's just like a bully in a schoolyard. They're gonna dog you for your milk money. All they can until you stand up. And then when they stand up, they're going to get medieval. The bully's going to get medieval. And then it's up to the people to get medieval more. There's, like I said, I'm totally, completely optimistic on a destructive level. Okay. That we will win. There's more of us than them. Okay. They got more toys, they got more things, but there's just more of us than there is them. So it's just a matter of
plus Fang.
Yeah.
This drink for vampires.
Yeah. That's Dr. Fauci's drink of choice right there.
Type A and type O. Really, it's adrenochrome. Adrenochrome. It's good when it's got this inside.
Tight. Is that a shrunken head?
I was at an estate sale. I think estate sale or garage sale, and this had no label on it, and it had the original label, right? I mean, the lid, right? And it was like filled with, you know, what do people put in these things? You know, like it was in the garage and they had stuff put in it. So I thought, well, I've got the wacky package Fang. So I took it to the print shop, blew it up to the size that a Tang label would be, and glued it on the Fang label on it. Because, you know, if you look at it on the shelf, you don't notice that it says Tang because it looks so perfect.
Yeah.
They did these parodies so perfectly. Yeah. The only thing, you know, they painted a shadow on there, though. You see the shadow that's painted on there to make it look 3D. Can't, like right there, they painted a shadow. But anyway, it looks good. So
yeah, Taylor, did you put that
over the G too, the fake shadow? What?
Did you put that shrunken head in there?
Yeah, it was a shrunken head I had, and I didn't know what to do with it, so I just stuffed it into the bottle. And actually, I guess I did 2 of these labels, one for each side.
That's awesome, dude.
So that's
I love that
kind of thing.
You just put that head in there. It wasn't in there before a long time ago when I used to watch it, right?
I think that's always been in there, but I've never shown it. You know, I usually don't turn the bottle.
Well, okay. Yeah.
It looks like some real kind of powder because you're seeing the back of the guy's head. But this way.
That's awesome, man.
I don't know. So that's
yeah. Here, watch. I'll grab this. This is a Stan Corona. This is off of our the first LP that we put out, and Stan Corona hand did this. He's a famous tattoo artist out of LA. He's a good friend of ours. And he did this with pastel chalk. And he drew this.
Who has the original art?
Oh, I'd love to have it. I'm sure Stanley still has it.
Because
I used to have pop. Go ahead.
I think you have to spray it with something so it doesn't get messed up. Pastel chalk, that's a difficult medium to work in.
Yeah.
How many albums do you have out total? How many records do you have? How many albums do you have out total, all your different bands?
I think I have, no, I don't think I have 4 complete LPs, 2 of each. Boot Party had 1 complete LP. Soldier 76 had 1 complete LP. Patton's Legion had a rather large EP. And then, Soldier 76 had 2. Boot Party had 1. And then a plethora of 7 inches and CDs. I need to gather them all up. I have them pretty close to all gathered up. I think on total, we're about, with compilations and 7 inches, like a total of I want to say 14 releases, 15 releases. So we were lucky. We were on some really big compilations that did really well for us, and that's what did, got our small, minute world base, because we were on big compilations with other bands, as like a sampler that went around the world, and it did real well. I mean, it's really good. They're classic. I mean, some of those original compilations are a little pricey now. I see some of them, they'll fetch you $25-$30 for a comp record now, which is good. I mean, in the punk rock world, when you're shelling out more than $20 for a used LP, it's pretty good. I mean, I think like the Boot Party LP I just showed, I've seen it sell as high as $50. It usually sells around $35. There's no more of them being made, that's for sure. I mean, that was 25 years ago. So
yeah. Were there CD releases?
Yeah, there was a few. There was a few CD releases. I'm sitting on right now. That's why I'd like to get rid of some of my most expensive stuff. Is like I was talking about. I think I said something about it another time, but I recorded the whole thing on my 50th birthday, which is killer. I mean, it's fantastic. I want to get that. I'd like to release that like on CD. I mean, if I had money, it would be really neat to put it out, have it released as a double LP. You know, you could ask $35, $40 for that in today's market now. But being you know, short on money, a CD release wouldn't be bad. You know, it'd be fine. You know, and you figure there's 26 songs. There's like well over an hour and 30 minutes worth of music between two bands on it. And like I said, recorded just really well done. So, you know, I was going to put it out a while back, and I just fell short of funds and didn't do it. So,
but I wonder if there's still a market for CDs. It seems like that's the CDs, you can't find them anywhere.
No, there is. Cassettes and CDs still sell, as long as you're real limited about, you know, you don't go crazy with the printings of it. If you only print, 300 to 500 CDs or cassettes, they do real well. They sell real well. Cassettes, believe it or not, they do real amazing, man. I mean, you can't get big money for them or anything, but you can sell them all day long for $5, $8. They'll sell. Oof, right out the door. You know, that's it's gotten so expensive. Like I said, from the time I was funding my own records early on in my career, or in my quasi career, the price of records to put out on your own has gone up like $1,000 more than what it used to cost, and the turnaround is a lot longer. Like you used to be able to, for $800 or $900, you could put out a record and have that record back within 30 days to 40 days. So your money wasn't hung up that long. Now, if you put out a record, it's going to cost you about $2,400, $2,400 to $2,500, and the turnaround is like 3 to 6 months it'll take you to get the product. So it's crazy. The average little guy, he can't, it sucks because the same people that kept the vinyl industry alive, which were rappers and punk rockers, they were the only reason why vinyl stayed alive. And now they're pushed back to like third tier because vinyl, I'm glad vinyl has gotten popular again. But what's happened is that all these big companies have precedent now, and the little guy he has to go to the back burner because they're making a run of 10,000 reprints of Led Zeppelin 2 again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is cool. I'm glad that, kids want vinyl and they want to buy Led Zeppelin 2 on vinyl again. I think that's great. But it sucks for the little guys, because that's a lot of money. If I'm going to toss $2,600 up into there, I can't afford to wait 6 months to get my product back to get it for sale for that $2,600. That's a long wait for, a little baby shark. Little baby sharks, we got to eat, we aren't whales. We can't throw $2,600 out and sit there and go, oh, well, I'll just wait 6 months. And, that doesn't happen. It's not healthy.
So now they've got this weird thing. All these new comic books showed up on Wednesday at the comic store, and then there was one LP mixed with them. And apparently, when you have a comic store and you order DC Comics, they send you one album, and it's like DC Comics death metal. Because it's not literally death metal. It's some running series in DC Comics called Death Metal. I don't know what exactly it is. It's some weird take on the heroes, or I don't know what it is. Someone maybe in the chat can tell us. If there's only 5 people watching, but maybe not. But anyway, I know that I've heard people talk about Batman Death Metal, and then there's something like the Batman who laughs, and it's death metal, and it's like Batman. It's got an evil Joker smile. I don't know what it is. But anyway, this record came, it's sealed. It's got Wonder Woman on the cover, and I see it's a bunch of different artists, and I assume it's kind of like the soundtrack to the heavy metal movie, where you got a bunch of different artists, and it's just unrelated, and I guess they're all probably Warner Brothers artists, because DC is owned by Warner, so they're probably trying to promote artists.
It's a vinyl record.
It was a vinyl record. It looked like maybe a 2-record set. So the shop owner looks up online and sees they're already going for $50-$60, and so, or maybe some regular customer got it. I don't know, but it's like a promo or something. Maybe they'll release it later, or maybe it's
probably not. No, they make like these really. Yeah, no, they make it. The big thing now is like these really limited run things. I mean, they like to make like, 50 up. There are 50 up, and so the prices just get crazy extreme. I've seen it in down at the record shop, and they'll only print 50 of them. They say that. Me personally, I know different, but they'll say they only printed 50 of them, or only 50 to the public, and the rest are like, give it to your butt. The big shots give it to their buddies. And so the prices just get out of, I've seen on release day, people pay like $300 for one record, and it's just nuts. It's custom printing is what they custom print now. So.
Well, this free comic book day thing that happens tomorrow at all the comic shops, well, not all of them, some of them, it usually is every comic store. They have free comic book day, and it's usually in May, and it's usually timed with the release of some big comic book movie. But everything's messed. Last year, they didn't even have it. The stores had already ordered all their free comic books. They got them. And I remember going into Duncanville Books and months later, and they had them all laid out, and they just said, take as many as you want. But it didn't happen because of the virus. But this year it's happening because only the last few weeks that people started to get all scared again. But so what happens is they're not free. The store owners has to pay about 30 cents on average for each comic book. And so people come in and they want to grab like handfuls of each one. And most stores will limit you to 4 or 5 comics with different titles. And the idea is that you're going to get kids hooked on comics, and then they'll keep coming back. But you got something like this, and it's no one's ever heard of it. Will it even ever come out again? So someone even likes it, and they come back to your store, there'll never be another copy of it. And then it's just, or then they've got like tie-ins to, this is the tie-in to the Suicide Squad movie with the shark that Sylvester Stallone plays. That's funny in the movie, but when they make him all muscular like that, it's not funny anymore. He's kind of funnier when he's kind of schlubby looking, and the way he's depicted in the movie and the way he talks in the movie. And in this comic book, I think he speaks more eloquently, so it's just not funny. I don't know. But anyway, that's the kind of stuff they got. And but a lot of people are in places where they're not going to, their comic stores are closed still, or they're open, but they're not going to do free comic day, and because they don't want too many people in at one time. And so there's a collector's market where, people will pay like $20 for this comic if it doesn't have the store stamp here. They, from all over the world, people are clamoring, and people are selling even before comic day happens, because they've had these comics for several weeks. Especially this comic called Stray Dogs. People want copies of it. They're in parts of the world or parts of the country where their store's not doing Free Comic Day, and they got to have this book, and they're paying stupid money for these books.
Sell now, man. That's what I tell everybody. It's like back when, when all the baseball cards were going crazy, man. I'd pile that crap up, man. I'd go buy a box of baseball cards or whatever the card they were looking for was, Frank Thomas or whatever. I remember, I had a decent job, so I could afford to buy a box. I'd buy a box right in the shop, open it up, find like 3 Frank Thomases and sell them right there. In later days, dude. Later on, and then later on, when the price dumps, you buy it for $5 or $10.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of people trying to sell their Pokemon cards now. Coming in wanting to sell them because gas
Crazy, dude.
doubled in price, and they figure these cards are valuable, and they didn't realize that back in the 90s when they were buying these at the flea market, they were buying bootleg cards back then. It's a 30-year-old card. Yeah, it's a 30-year-old bootleg because it was so popular then, or I don't know. It's just like people love that stuff. I don't know. But yeah, the 90s was ridiculous.
It's like a stock market back then, the smart people dumped and the other people bought, and generally, I never felt bad about selling because the people that had, if it was some schlep kid, I would never ever sell it for top dollar. I'd tell them, whatever. If it was $20, I'd tell them, hey, dude, give me $5 and you could have it. But but most of the people that they got into it for an investment type thing, those people got money to burn. They don't give a shit. They got more money than they do. Trust me. I mean, I've seen it. That's why I appreciate those people because without them, we wouldn't have the market that we have. Things wouldn't be worth what they were. But at the same time, caviar emptor, man, buyer beware. You know what I mean? It's like, so that's the way I looked at it. Even back then, I used to hang around a place. It was cool. It was a comic book shop when I was a kid. It's still there. As a matter of fact, when I get out, I don't know if it's still there. But if I get out and I get on a good ride and I go over there, I'll film it. It was a really cool little rinky-dink comic book shop that's about 4 miles away from here. And it's been there since I was a kid. Actually, on both ways. One east of here and one west of here. Both those comic book shops. I know the one west of here is still open. I don't know about the one east. But those shops, you go in there and, they'd be selling ball cards and, Pokemon cards and they would sell comic books. It's all in one, just, like where you go. And, I don't know why, man. I mean, just kind of, I guess back then I liked comic books. You've seen, I still had comic books, but I thought the people that were spending more money were the people chasing baseball cards, football cards, and hockey cards at that point. And so, like, I would just buy them and buy a box for like $30, and I'd go through it and get lucky and maybe pull out 2 of the chase cards and sell them right there. I mean, I would either sell them right back to the comic book shop or I'd find, some kid that wanted them outside. And I'd be like, here, dude, you want to buy this? Later. You know what I mean? I'd run my bike, up to the store and woo, I got, I spent $30, my paper route money that I saved up, and I'd cut up to the store and I'd have like $50. I gained $20. I was like, I was happy. I was like, cool.
There were all those people buying up the death of Superman and Beanie Babies, and sports cards and all that stuff they thought was going to be huge.
Yeah, and I mean, and God bless them. They were, thank goodness for them. We need those people. That's what made the market, made it so the guys could, But I honestly wish that it would just simply go back, and I'm glad it has. Like, you know, it's gotten back to the point where they're just going to print a finite amount of them, and that's it. And that's what really makes things good and neat. It's when, you know, there's a finite amount. You know, like they're only going to print 30,000 of something, or they're only going to, you know, print, you know, just, it's not, they aren't short running it on purpose, but they're only making enough for the people who really want it. You know, and that instead of just oversaturating the market and you know, just it's not healthy for the, it's not healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so you're going to go to that estate sale tomorrow, or?
No, I don't think so. It's a little bit out of my, I mean, it's a little ways from here, and it started running today, and you know, those guys know exactly what they want, and I'm a chicken hawk. I mostly pick, I like to pick where things are just natural. That guy was a collector, so you know, and the people having the estate sale know it. So, you know, I like finding things in their natural state, kind of like you do. You know, you just kind of walk in and, you know, you open up the kid's toy box and, wow, there's still a Shogun Warrior there. Or, you know, it's kind of neat, you know. I like things that way.
There's been several estate sales in this neighborhood where you can tell it's just a child's bedroom that grew up in the 60s. They probably left home in 1970, 72, and they kept that room exactly as it was. And you're going through all their 45 RPM records, and everything is just exactly as it was.
It's amazing.
It's one
It's
of block
amazing.
here. I got so many 45 RPM records with picture sleeves. It was just like it was still 1966.
Those things with original picture sleeves now are getting a premium now. I mean, you figure only a third of them survived with the picture sleeves. Most of them were, you know, taken out.
Yeah, I was at a estate sale a few weeks ago. This record is amazing. Have you ever heard "Down on the Farm" by Al Downing?
No, I don't think I have.
I bet I could play that.
The name.
I could probably play that. Watch it cause a problem. I could probably play that okay without YouTube getting mad at me, because I'm going to play it right from YouTube. This is a crazy song. I just got it for like $1 or something. Let's see. Oh, there's some country song, "Down on the Farm," but I want Big Al Downing. Certainly not a country song.
Rockabilly? Gratu is it rockabilly?
It's more like Little Richard kind of insanity. Okay, here we go.
You might think I'm a crazy fool, but I saw a horse doing the bobble with a mule down on the floor. Down on the floor. Down on the floor. Rock and roll taking over my floor. Rooster won't crow, chickens won't cluck. Running around the barnyard doing the hucklebuck. Down on the floor. Down on the floor. Down on the floor. Rock and roll taking over my floor. Yeah.
Okay, that's what it's like. Then there were these picture sleeves, but no records. But all you have to do is get the record, and then you got and it's like real good shape. Elvis Presley picture sleeves.
Yeah.
And it's like this 98-cent price tag is pretty much what I was paying
Awesome,
for.
man. Those things, dude. When I find them at the record store, you know, they just I put them in a bin, and we get like $7-10 a piece for those, man. Right out of the record. Oh yeah.
Mamie Van Doren there. West Hamlin. High School Confidential. Yeah. And then there were some movie star pictures. I'm pretty sure this isn't a real autograph. This is printed. This one might be a real autograph. This is Paulette Goddard. I think this one's printed.
Ooh, man, she was a hottie.
You'd send off for it, and they'd send you a postcard. You know, you just send off.
Cool.
And it was sent to someone in Sulphur Springs. What's 1944, December 1944. Yeah, it came from Los Angeles.
Don't start me. Hey, man, I'm a stamp collector. Don't start me on down that road. I'll be looking for that. I'll be looking for those now. Not only because they're really cool with the postcard, but they've got the stamp and the mailing deal, you know? That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I didn't really. I have to use this camera to. It's what, a bust of George Washington. Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's a once in George Washington. It's called a Prexy. But yeah, I mean, that's just adds to the. That's like a double collectible, really. I mean, it's like the guys that collect stamps like it, and then also they like it because it's like really cool. A Hollywood postcard.
Yeah. See, this cover, you should use this for one of your records. Like when you put out that your new record, you should just use this cover for Hi-Fi Bugs.
That's pretty neat.
Just maybe put the name of the band like right here. Like the little Hi-Fi Bug guy.
Yeah, I'm sure that isn't copyrighted anymore.
I kind of don't think so. Let's see if there is one. What does that say there? Printed and manufactured by Crown Album. I'm pretty sure.
Crown was a really, 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 like a fifth-rate record label. They just put out retreads.
Yeah, because they don't even have an artist listed on it. You can tell it's a cheap thing, but
yeah, they did a lot of cool Crown. I collected all the Crown drag racing records.
Right.
For a long time, man. Oh yeah, they had really cool They do have really cool drag racing records where they have like a car revving up, and then they have their cheesy. I mean, the band is super good, but it's like cheesy, drag race surf music. It's awesome.
They had some really surf ones too, don't they?
Huh?
They had some surf albums too, didn't they?
Oh yeah, yeah. The drag race and surf go together.
But I think there's some that have just like Jane Mansfield on the cover to sell the record. Larry Burbridge, if you're still in the chat, says, "Who's your favorite horror host?" Being in Chicken. I like Svengoolie, of course.
Yeah, Svengoolie's cool.
Yeah, my friend that passed away a few years ago, in his later years, looked exactly like Svengoolie. I never told him that because I don't think that would have been a compliment. Plus, he would go out to places, and these old people would come up to him and think he was Ron Jeremy, and he'd say, "No, I'm not Ron Jeremy." And they said, "Come on, man, I just want your autograph." They would not accept. They just thought he was pulling their leg, that he wasn't Ron Jeremy. And but he went out to Hollywood, and when he left here to go to Hollywood, he would only listen to the Rolling Stones, the Who, and Jimi Hendrix. If you listen to anything else, he would just say, "Put on the Who." That was his thing. And then he goes out there and starts hanging out with all these other artists that I had listened to, but he'd always kind of poo-pooed. I think he grew to like the Ramones before he went out there, but then he befriended them and knew them, and did a video for them.
Did you ever get to see the Ramones?
Yeah, I saw the Ramones twice.
Yeah, I've seen them twice too. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, not in the early days of the Ramones. It was the 80s.
Yeah, same here. The first time I seen him at Rhode Island at that club that burnt down that killed all those people. Remember, I don't know, it was probably 10, 15 years ago. That club that was in Rhode Island that burnt down and killed like 100 people or whatever. I seen him at that club in I want to say 87, or I think it was 87 or 88. I was a senior, just gotten out of high school. And then I seen him again right before Joey Ramone passed away. I seen him about a year before that. So there was a big span. I think that was 1991 to 92. I seen them.
I saw them at the Arcadia, which was a old time movie theater that they had converted. Well, it wasn't really converted. It was still, they still could have turned it back. And maybe they'd taken the seats out, but it was still an old theater in Dallas. And I saw the no, I don't think I saw that. Yeah, I did see the Cramps there one time, and I saw the Residents there, as I recall. There was a guy that was my friend on Facebook for years and was very conservative and was always liking my stuff. And then when I married Cleo, he was real friendly with Cleo and was always saying nice things about me. And then he got sick and passed away, and we started to realize that he probably was one of the Residents. And I just thought, well, this other old friend of mine that's real liberal, that really loved the Residents, I think he would have been real surprised to know that this was a real conservative. You would not think that any member of the Residents was conservative, but I not 100% sure, but I think he just never, I think he was one of the Residents. But anyway, because that's cool when a band keeps their identity secret. If Kiss had just always done that, it would have been cool. If they'd still, now pushing 80, they still were secret.
Yeah, I think that would have been much better, man. Much better.
A lot better. They put the makeup on, and you really can't tell the difference. You can't tell they're super old when you're up in the audience. It's a pretty good thing for aging band people. Just paint your face. But he really became tight with Johnny Ramone, and Johnny Ramone was a big collector of World War II memorabilia and specifically German memorabilia and movie posters and stuff. And so my friend told me the story of how Blondie got their name, and I also saw that mentioned by what was the director of the X-Men. I don't remember the original X-Men movie, and then he made X-Men 2 and Days of Future Past. I can't remember his name, but in some interview he mentioned the same story. So I've got confirmation from the source, my friend through Johnny Ramone, and about how Blondie got their name. Did you hear me tell that story the other day?
I may have, but probably shot through one ear and out the. I don't remember it. No,
Brian Singer. I forgot Brian Singer's name. Oh, anyway, in the early days when they were all hanging out at CBGB's, Johnny Ramone was always talking about World War II, and he was talking about Hitler's dog.
The cartoon character Blondie, in Kentucky, right?
What now?
You said something about Kentucky, and he named the character.
Well, no. Hitler had this beloved dog. You see him all these pictures with his dog, which he later tested the poison on the dog before he took the poison with his wife when they were down in the bunker. But anyway, this dog was named Blondie, and Debbie Harry and I guess Chris Stein liked that. So everyone thinks that they named their band after the comic strip character, but it's really after Hitler's dog. So shit like that is stuff that I learned. And then he never was. I was always listening to the Cramps, and my friend hated it. Then he went out there and he befriended the Cramps. Well, he befriended Lux Interior. Poison Ivy hated my friend. But,
I was kind of indifferent. I've seen the Cramps a few times. I enjoyed them. I enjoyed the history of the Cramps. I enjoyed them. I mean, they were cool. They were cool live. I think I seen them. The guy eats the microphone though. That used to always blow me away. He'd shove the mic down his throat.
Yeah,
that dude was.
Well, but it's like a lot of that. I think the early days of the Cramps were much better. The later albums, it's almost like I think that Lux Interior, who's the lead singer of the Cramps, for people that don't know, he was. They were very influenced by movies and comic books and old rock and roll and surf and garage, and he would talk about how in the old records from the 50s they would sing about sex, but they would kind of try to hide it a little bit and say,
yeah, that's what made things cool, dude.
Yeah, or in the EC comics, they got away with what they could get away with, and so that's the way it was, with everything through.
I mean, the whole term rock and roll, that's what it comes from. Rocking and rolling,
That's right. And so you can slide things through and have it played on the radio, like "Good golly, Miss Molly sure likes the ball," and you just tell the old people, no, they're talking about ballroom dancing, but but then at a certain point, the Cramps kept doing they "Can your pussy do the dog," which was just like "Can your horsey do the," but then at a certain point, they just started using the F word and stuff in their songs, and it just started to be. How's that any different from rap or hip hop, where the word is used 4 or 5 times in every line? And it's the same thing with Howard Stern. He was far more interesting on regular radio than when he went to satellite radio and could say anything. It kind of, the magic was gone. So they kind of, in the end, the Cramps weren't as interesting to me.
Yeah, I think what happened is they became a real. They kind of stopped. They were a real quasi kind of rockabilly kind of artsy band to begin with, and they had that appeal, and then all of a sudden they decided to go real gutter mouth, dirty punk rock style.
I didn't like that. I'd rather it stay. Oh well.
I've never been a fan of. I mean, I'm a fan if the cursing is used correctly in the music, I'm okay with that. It's when they just start using it, to use it, then it's like, oh man, come on, bro.
They'd always used it, but when they're one thing and then they change,
Sure.
But too much of anything is, that show on HBO, Deadwood. I probably would have liked that show but they thought that they would literally use the F word 5 or 6 times in every line of dialogue. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I've seen it.
To the point where it's just like ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that word existed in the 1800s, and they used it in the 1800s, but it wasn't the only word they used. And if you've been around old people, and when people, my grandfather was born in the 1890s, and then his grandfather would have been, so you kind of know what was the profanity. Not that he cursed much, but you kind of being around old people that were around in the 40s, the 30s, and then their parents would have been around almost in the old Western days. And it's like, well, what is the language mostly used by them? It's probably back then it would be more profane in a religious sense, like goddamn and that kind of thing. And Jesus, if you picture cowboys, I just don't picture them saying fuck, fuckity fuck. It seems more modern, and it takes you out of. They build these sets that look very realistic, and everything looks authentic, and then they have to throw that word at you just because they're on HBO or Showtime, and they can.
Because they can, yeah.
And it's just,
now my grandfather and my great grandfather from either side of my family were avid cursors. I mean, bad, I remember them, but yeah, fuck wasn't one of the words that they tossed out there constantly.
No, that was an extreme word to that generation, and probably to the generation before. My uncle Guy,
it's more of a 60s thing, the word, fucking, like, hey, what the fuck is your problem? That's more of a 60s, 70s thing.
They arrested Jim Morrison in Florida for saying fuck on stage. That was during my lifetime. It's like, what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend
Yeah.
Randy that was friends with Long Gone John, I'm hopefully going to have him on soon as a guest. He's watching the show in order. I didn't realize that he was telling my wife. I started watching it, but I started with episode 1. But when I see him on live, I tune in. But he's got so many stories. Um, he was there at the first Sex Pistols show at the Longhorn Ballroom in Dallas.
Man, that would have been
It's a
awesome, dude.
It's a country western bar with a big
I mean,
picture
have you ever seen the
stagecoach.
video footage of that? Have you seen it?
Yeah, and he
Have
was
you-
there. I mean, I don't know if he
It
can
was
pick himself
amazing.
out.
Yeah, they were just it was amazing. The original, I've seen the original footage of that. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie Pissed. That's a really good documentary of Sex Pistols. I mean, I think it's the best one, personally. And they have the whole clip. It's not like a B-roll thing of them when they played there. You know, sure, they've cut it up, but oh my God. I mean, dude, them old necks were throwing everything they could at them at the stage. They were loving it. They were like, yeah, throw more. You know what I mean? They were like, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing. I mean, that truly was a punk rock. I mean, that was really punk rock. I mean, can you imagine being a band out of England playing, you know, shit 4-bar, you know, God Save the Queen, blah, 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 all the classics. And you come to this little shit bar in the middle of Texas and you play and there's nothing but a bunch of necks there, you know, and there's a few, you know, punk rock, quasi punk rock people there. But for the most part, it was just guys that were there there were guys that sit there and do the 2-step with their old lady and drink Coors beer, you know?
Yeah.
And they were like, what the hell is this kind of madness? You know?
Yeah.
Oh.
What? That Larry Burbridge in the chat has made me think about Horror Host. Every so often, I'll go to YouTube and look up Horror Host to see if any new footage has been discovered. But yeah, Ghoulardi is several generations. I'm sorry, Svengoolie is. I think he followed Son of the Ghoul, who followed the Ghoul, and I think the Ghoul goes back to Ghoulardi. So I think that's like he's like several generations down from Ghoulardi, but it's still the same. But let's see if I can't look something up here and share the screen. You know, there's some really good footage, or there was on YouTube. There's not much surviving footage of Vampira. There's tons of Elvira. There are a lot. I'm trying to think of the guy that was out of. I'll just type in Horror Host.
Woo! It's a hot one out there today. I think it's about 105.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, there was a Count Orloff. Wonder what they were like. Let me see what it is here. I haven't been outside except this morning to take the trash out. I figured it's been such a fucked up day. The way I woke up, I figured I better not leave the house. Who knows what'll happen to me on this Friday the 13th.
Oh, yeah, I was going to comment on that real quick while you're looking on that. Friday the 13th is a good luck day, dude, as long as you aren't a Knights Templar. You know, that's all that comes down to. That was the 13th was the day that they took old Jacos D. Malay and, you know, jacked him. That's all Friday.
Is that where that came from?
Other than that,
let's see here. What was I doing? Oh, I forgot why I picked up my phone. Oh well. Count Orloff. Let's see what he's like.
You need a car for that?
Oh, yeah. Book a car with Avail. You've got a fleet at your fingertips.
It looks like it's going to be recent. Maybe not.
It's the Count Orloff Show.
He's got better production values than I've got.
Well, here we are once again. I give you space to feel, watch it.
I don't know. Here's Sven Gulli meeting Tempest Storm.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your companion, one and only Sven. In keeping with that,
Sven Gulli was not just passed. I'm
Tempest
Storm just passed away, and she was excommunicated from the whole burlesque community for being a Trump supporter.
high standards of good taste established on this program many years ago, and in order to protect the morals of our viewing audience, he now proudly presents tonight's movie rating. Would you send in the censor, please?
Wow.
Once again, Tempest Storm. Welcome back.
This must be from about 1970, I would think.
Five with the music. Listen to the rating.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's feature, Twiggy gets a job as a topless waiter. Rated XXXXXXX.
X.
See, I gotta save this.
Well, what does that rating mean, Tempest?
That means suitable for viewing only by Joe Namath, Burt Reynolds, and me.
Sounds like a movie. Go away.
Then M.T. Graves was another horror host.
Fiends, old empty graves here at your service. Ha ha ha! Gordon gave me this huge yo-yo to play with. He said you've got to do something constructive, and so that's what I'm doing. So hello to all you fiends, all you dungeon inmates who happen to be incarcerated in hospitals and in...
What I need is a vampire cocktail to settle my nerves. Will not only settle.
This is some of the only existing footage of Vampira. Well, I'm doing a show, but that's cool. What's up?
You like it? It's hate.
No. Wait. What's going on?
I've had several letters asking whether olives or cherries should be used
Hello?
in making my cocktail. Well, actually, neither is
I can end the show. Gerald called. He's coming over.
one being put into the cocktail. However, if you want to use some
text me
garnish,
then.
drop in an eyeball.
All right, love you, man.
If you happen to have an extra one around the house.
This is Julie Brannon. WTOG's 44 News at 10 is proud to continue our support.
Oh, here's
of
the other guy
performing arts in
that I
Tampa
thought
Bay.
was really cool. Sammy Terry. I forgot what his name was.
In the dead of night, when the moon is high, and the ill winds blow, and the banshees cry, and the moonlight casts an unearthly glow, arise, my love, with
Yeah, so there's all kinds of. You just have to type in horror host, and you'll get all kinds of stuff. That was Cleo calling So I don't know what's up. Oh, there's a text.
The last one that I seen was he was from Chicago. It seemed like he was on the WGN network. Maybe he was just getting, syndicated broadcasted over there. And he was kind of older, more heavy set. That guy, was that like an older clip? An earlier clip or something?
The clips which clip are you talking about?
Of the Svengoolie guy.
Well, the one I showed you that was talking to Tempest Storm. Because that wasn't Svengoolie. Let me see if I can. Let me share this. There was Ghoulardi, and then there was Ghoulardi is the one that Lux Interior was really into because he watched him when he was a kid.
Oh, okay. So they are old. Okay. Yeah,
Ghoulardi was Ernie Anderson. Yeah, that was early 60s, late 50s. Yeah. And then he went on to ABC doing the voiceovers, and then I think the Ghoul took over, and then it was Son of Ghoul. I don't know. I'm not really sure, but that was. Wait, the current guy's Svengoolie. That must have been Son of Ghoul with the green hippie hair. Because that you could tell that was around 1970 because Tempest Storm had the big hair, and then she was making jokes about Burt Reynolds and Joe Namath. So that would tie it to 69, 70. And but they're all over. They were all over the country, and there's some have more footage existing than others. M.T. Graves, that guy, he was on they had a little picture of him on the front cover of Famous Monsters in the 60s. But there's one guy that was big enough that he made a movie. There's actually a record out called Morgus the Magnificent. He put out a record where he's singing, and he had a movie, The Wild World of Morgus, I think. So some of the horror hosts made it bigger than others. Let me share the screen again. I did it. I got rid of it prematurely. But yeah, Morgus was big, and then there was a lady named Tarantula Ghoul that put out a couple, at least one record. This is Morgus the Magnificent here.
Another big story involves the death of a New Orleans icon, Morgus the Magnificent. Sid Noel, who created and starred as the TV character for more than 60 years, died today. He was 90 years old, but he was behind a legacy of laughter.
It's time to join the master. Morgus the Magnificent.
That's a good opening.
Hello, my dear followers of the fantastic.
For anyone who grew up in New Orleans in the 1960s, this says it all. There was only one place to be on Saturday nights, watching Channel 4 for a science lesson from the master, Dr. Momus Alexander Morgus. Morgus first brought his talents to WWL-TV in 1959. The setting was his lab above the Old City Ice House, where he updated viewers on his scientific exploits in between segments of horror movies. The city had never seen anything like it, and Morgus was an instant hit. And he stayed a star for the 60 years that followed. Morgus's alter ego, the creative genius behind it all, was Sid Noel. In this very rare interview, he talked about the character.
And one of my favorite characters in history was Don Quixote in actual literature. And I decided to create a character that would represent the great quest of doing right in the world and, of course, the great failures that we all face. So Morgus became actually a Don Quixote in a lab jacket. And Chopsley was Sancho Panza.
In the 60s, Morgus even made a full-length movie. It didn't win any Oscars, but it was pure Morgus, and fans loved it. For a few years, the doctor even tried his hand at forecasting the weather on Channel 4.
Weather Bureau, New Orleans. They don't mean the Weather Bureau across the street. They mean the Morgus Weather Company. Weather
After
Bureau.
leaving WWL in the 60s, Morgan spent a few years in Detroit, then returned to New Orleans TV in the 70s.
Welcome to Morgus Presents.
In the 80s, fans helped bring him back again with a new version of his weekly show.
Students, those the higher order.
It was as though he had never stopped working in the lab. The show went national, airing in syndication on stations across the country. Morgus would revive the show again and again over the decades, each time with new generations discovering or rediscovering his genius.
It's been a wonderful experience to have lived.
So that's
Wow, that was some great makeup on that guy, man, for sure.
yeah. He was unrecognizable.
Sure.
Angela Gould was, I don't know if there's any footage of her show, but she was kind of like a vampire type. But now there's about 1 million girls on Instagram that look exactly like her.
No shit.
But she recorded a 45 Graveyard Rock, which is really cool.
Do you have it?
48 square centimeters.
No,
of
I
2%
just have it on compilations. But it has King Kong on one side.
I'm going ape. King Kong.
The Graveyard Rock. I was going to play that other one, but it had a Disney cartoon in the background, and that would probably cause a problem with YouTube.
Tired of living, want to die? Well, here's a real good reason why.
Graveyard Walk.
It all begins about 12 o'clock when the creek's all open and we start to rock.
Graveyard rock. Graveyard rock.
In the graveyard,
Graveyard rock.
everybody thinks the graveyard rock. Every night is just like Halloween. There's rock and roll this graveyard scene.
Graveyard rock. Graveyard rock.
In the graveyard,
Graveyard rock.
everybody thinks the graveyard rock. Never had such fun since the day I died when they pumped me full of formaldehyde.
Graveyard rock. Graveyard rock.
In the graveyard,
Graveyard rock.
everybody thinks the graveyard rock.
But the big guy would be Ghoulardi. And the thing about him is in the back of his show, he would play instrumental weird music, and that influenced Lex Interior of the Cramps. And so, you know, they even have an album, Stay Sick. That was his slogan. And he had a whole bunch of words that he used, like Kniff, which is Fink backwards. But this is a whole documentary on his life. But this is the guy that is the ancestor of Svengoolie.
I'll tell you the truth. Gross Productions is about to present immediately following these
Now,
next
this is
few
someone that
great
recorded
words about
reel-to-reel audio off the TV back then. But
Good evening. Ernie Anderson here. We'd like tonight to interview probably one of the most outstanding personalities in the Cleveland area. Maybe.
anyway, I don't know what I'm doing.
And there's another smash by John Fitzgerald, and he's finally thrown out Goulardi. Nips him at the bag and gets a kick in the over the. Hey, Groove! That's good fun out there. How come the music ran short? Wait a minute, I already got glasses on. Groove! It's going to be a good night. So cool. Oh, I love it. It don't work anymore. Come on. Cool. Wait a minute. I got a thing you won't believe.
Then later, this is what he was doing.
Ordeal with Patty Hearst.
This is what we heard growing up, is this voice, which used to be Goulardi.
Wednesday on 8 is Enough, Abby finally starts to teach.
Wish we won?
But when she flunks out the basketball star, she fouls out with Tommy.
Look, Tommy, it's my job. Go ahead, be a terrific substitute teacher, because I'll tell you.
Anyway.
Hey, have you there was a guy that was a horror dude or whatever. His name was Sid, and he played like in the Rob Zombie movies. Sid Haig.
Sid Haig, yeah.
Okay, do you know he put out a record? He was a drummer, and he played drums in the 50s, kind of I don't know if you call it surf or kind of whatever, but he was from Fresno, and Sid Haig lived here in Fresno. I think actually he was. I don't know if he passed away here or not, but he's a Fresno. He's an Armenian guy. That's what Fresno is known as. There's a lot of Armenian people that live here in Fresno.
Right.
And I have that 45. I came across it years and years and years ago at an estate sale. I said I would have to dig it out and play it. It's in probably one of like 5 boxes of 45s that I have. But yeah, I had no idea who the dude was at all. Like, I'm not gonna, I'm not like, a horror guy. I like it and all that, but I never like followed it. But anyways, I was at the record shop and I just pulled, odd labels and weird stuff on the chance that it might be worth big bucks and it might be really cool. So anyways, I pulled this record and I was like, oh, cool, I'll take it home. And anyways, I researched it and it ended up being that guy, Sid Haig. Sid Haig I guess he was like some big, B-movie horror guy. I guess he just passed away recently too, in the last 2 or 3 years or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, I'll have to find the record and spin it. It's good. He's a good drummer. He's a really good drummer.
Well, Vampira sang on a record that these friends of my friend Randy, the Satan's Cheerleaders, put out a 45, and she sang on it.
No kidding.
See if I can't find that. I know that she was hanging out with the Misfits. I remember that. I mean, they had pictures of them on the street hanging out with her, and she was dressed up as.
Yeah, check out after you check that out, and we check that out. Type in Sid Haig and then put band afterwards, and see if that 45 comes up there. It's pretty cool. I mean, I liked it when I spun it. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I kept it. I was like, dude, this guy's from Fresno. I want to keep it.
Okay, I think she might have done 2 singles with Satan's Cheerleaders.
Oh, badass.
Let me see here. One has kind of a notorious cover. Let's see. Yeah, she has this one, I'm Damned, and then this one that has this Nazi cover called Genocide Utopia. And that's their record, their full record. But
wow.
Yeah.
My Lord and my God, have mercy upon my soul, a sinner. I believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of the living God. I believe that he died on the cross and shed his blood for the forgiveness of all my sins. I believe that God raised Jesus from the dead by the power of the Holy Ghost. I open the door of my heart and I invite you into my heart.
It's a gospel record.
Jesus, wash away all of my sins. Wash them away in the precious blood that you shed for me. You will not turn me away, Lord Jesus. You will save my soul. I know because your word, the Bible, says so. Your word says that you will turn no one away, and that includes me. Therefore, I know that you have heard me, and I know that you have answered
I'm pretty
me,
sure
and
this
I
is
know
exactly
that
from the back of a Jack Chick tract. I think this is the prayer at the back of every one of those. So they were a Cramps type band.
What era is this? Like 70s?
I would say
You still there, Grotty? Cut out. There you go.
anyway.
You're cutting out. Getting out.
My Wi-Fi is acting up.
It's FEMA, brother, FEMA. I think Ratu's Wi-Fi jacked, so I don't know. We can kind of walk around here and look at punk rock records. Stacks and stacks and stacks of punk rock records.
I guess we're back. This is the other song that she did with them.
Genocide is the utopia for the land of Antichrist. high places. Where in the Bible does it tell you?
Basically, they got an old lady, the scary old lady, to read on while they did Cramps music. But let's find the Sid Haig record. You remember what the band is?
Yeah, no, just type in Sid Haig 45, like 45 RPM record. I want to see if it'll come up. I think that's all he ever recorded.
The T-Birds featuring Sid Haig.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like I think it's got to be late 50s, early 60s.
Yeah. Oh, this is good.
Yeah, that's it.
I had to go to the other room to make sure that it was all clear for Gerald when he comes over, because he sleeps in that room.
Yeah.
So when I went down there, somehow the Wi-Fi got jibbled. Yeah, this is exactly the type music to have in the background during the show.
Yeah, be cool. It's like
not going to get to a copyright strike or anything, you know.
I don't think so.
Let me turn it down a little bit. We're starting to get a few more viewers. We're up to 7, I guess, because people are getting off of work. I don't think doing shows during work hours are probably gets a lot of viewers. But yeah, this is good. So you found this 45?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good. You know, the thing about Rob Zombie is he has all the same influences, I think, growing up, exposed to all the same stuff, but what he produces, at least as far as movies go, it's like his input is the same, but his output, I don't like it. I mean, it's, you know, he uses Sid Haig, you know, and yeah, he was in all these cool movies and everything. My friend Tom, that went out to Hollywood, had a lot of influences, and then he made music videos and he put them all in his video, and then it's like an explosion. Every couple of seconds there's another person from some old B movie or some singer, and then and I'm afraid that if my friend had ever made movies, that I'm hoping he wouldn't have made anything as disastrous as a Rob Zombie movie, but I wonder if I could play one of his videos. If I don't play the music, maybe it would be all right. Yeah, I probably could. Let me try it real quick, because I don't know what the YouTube rules are.
Don't get busted.
Well, unless they go after video images, I'll try to. So this is my friend. He got Lex Interior to do the introduction to this.
All about dispute resolution.
It's the Who cover. I mean, sorry, the Ramones covering the Who song "Substitute," and he also directed a Motorhead video and some song by, I think, Ministry. I don't like them.
New World Order?
I don't know.
Throughout the history of man, there is one common problem plaguing each and every race: natural born losers. In each culture, they are the same, roaming predators and gorging themselves on life's
Anyway, all through this video, it's just nonstop. This props from different movies, and it's like you can see all the stuff that went into his mind. So this is Lex Interior, the lead singer of the band The Cramps, playing the scientist, and then he's got this this actor. I forget who he is. It's in a lot of B movies. Playing and that's a liquor store in Dallas that he's got there. Let's see. That prop with the eyes. See, there's Rudy Ray Moore and there's Karen Black. You know, because he and his brother flew Rudy Ray Moore out to perform at a house party, and it's kind of like the Bat Cave he's in. And then he was really into Telly. He still had that Telly Savalas painting in his house there. He was really into Telly Savalas. It's just nothing but a bunch of something weird. I mean, it's just everything in this is some reference to something.
What song is that by the Ramones?
It's Substitute.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, it wasn't Ministry. It was the Revolting Cocks. I think it's the same band. I don't know. So that
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
Bronson Cave. That's the Bat Cave. Or at least what they used. So he trying to see what other stuff he puts in here. It's just all kinds of, and then he did this video in Fort Worth. He filmed this Revolting Cocks. Here it is. This is my friend directing this, and it's outside the Ridgely Theater. That's Dave Friedman that produced Blood Feast and 2000 Maniacs. That's the movie theater where I saw The Empire Strikes Back, the Ridgely Theater in Fort Worth.
Awesome.
So now they have bands play there. They don't play movies there anymore. It's Dave Friedman was made those exploitation movies, and then later he was the head of the Adult Motion Picture Association or whatever. But it's just lots of monster references on different things. Let me see. All right, what else he puts in this? So anyway, he passed away a few years ago. That's
Okay. Yeah, I gotta jump, man. My battery's about ready to die on my.
Yeah, I need to go as well because my wife's up. It's Christopher says Ministry are great. I only like Rob Zombie who's funny White Zombie in the 90s. Yeah. Revolting Cocks and I don't know much about Revolting Cocks and Ministry. I mean, they were friends of my friend, but anyway, so I guess I'll see you soon, Basil.
Yep. Cheerio, brother. I'll talk to you soon, man.
Nice to have you on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, take care. And my wife, Greta, is asking, hey, Grotz, what time is Gerald coming over? I think he said about 7. That's an hour and 15 minutes. He's going to look at this projector to see what's going on with it. He said, I don't know. I'll talk to you when I get down. I'm going to close because my wife's up and can see what's going on in the world. So 7 people watching. I'll try to, I don't know. Maybe tomorrow evening I'll try doing a show. If you guys watch Suicide Squad, maybe we can talk about it. Or we can look at our books from Free Comic Book Day or share our experiences of that joy of that miserable nightmare. So, I told you night was falling when we started, so now I've ruined the whole illusion by telling you it's not even 7 o'clock yet. But yes, it's now midnight here in Gratuittville, and I'm going to sign off. Be seeing you in broadcast.